It's Friday, January 30th. Today, a slap in the face. Why some homeowners are reeling from the latest round of property assessments and what you can do if you're in a similar situation. Also today, feeling the pressure of the affordability crisis. Which costs are stressing out Canadians the most and the effect on spending habits. Plus, a second chance at life. One man's new lease on life after being caught in a devastating explosion that nearly ended it all. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's Friday. We've finally made it to the end of the week. We are here. We're so grateful. And Ainsley McPhail is live at the St. Norbert Farmers Market this morning telling us all about the Winter Champ Challenge. Of course, the St. Norbert Farmers Market features really great businesses, local businesses. So we're going to find out what the challenge is all about and how you can support it. But that weather, if you're going to be outside, it's going to start being perfect tomorrow. Maybe? No, it's changed.
Okay, no, it's going to warm up. I wouldn't call it perfect tomorrow.
Okay.
And usually it's because when there's a big warm up, there's going to be some big winds. So yes, expect to be maybe blown off your feet tomorrow. But today those winds are very light. It is a lot colder out there this morning though. So that's the change up that we're going to be seeing is the warmer weather and some much stronger winds. Right now it's minus 27. It feels like minus 33, but the wind is light, just 7 kilometers out of the east-northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 80%. Clear conditions this morning. Oh my goodness, stargazing, moon gazing on my way into work this morning. Very clear, but yes, very cold with these below seasonal temperatures continuing. We have one more day to get through. And then sure, it will be warming up, but a big change-up comes along with those warmer temperatures. So looking at the satellite image right now, and there's really not much to see. Those clear conditions will be noticed across the province. Abundant sunshine for everybody. Later, we're going to start to see a bit of precipitation in that northeastern part of, the northwestern part of the province, pushing over into the northeastern part of the province. So that's where we'll see the extra clouds building up throughout the day today, bringing that bit of snow. But southern central Manitoba remaining very clear. Now overnight we'll start to see a few more clouds moving in, and then for tomorrow with the clouds comes the snow. So expect some precipitation to be passing through, and then yes, I mentioned those winds at times tomorrow. They could be gusting to 70 kilometers per hour. That'll take us into Sunday with those heavier clouds. The warmer temperatures, well, they're going to be sticking around for a while. So the worst of it will come just as they're changing and warming up. That's when we get those very strong winds. But look, as far as we can see now, things are looking very mild and mostly above seasonal, maybe even too much so. We complained about the cold, might be complaining about those mild temperatures by the middle to end of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Big property value increases from the city hit mailboxes this week. In some cases, the proposed assessments for 2027 jumped by tens of thousands of dollars. And as CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, some fear this could lead to a hefty tax hike in the future.
Well, I almost had a heart attack.
That's how Charleswood resident Kathy Hepner reacted after opening her 2027 property value assessment preview. Her house on Rannoch Avenue was assessed at $477,000 2 years ago. Now it is $96,000 higher, $573,000. She fears her taxes will go up.
They're gonna make you pay $1,000 a year more for property taxes. And for what?
Hepner says her family is already paying out $4,200 for municipal, school, and property taxes. And homeowners like her are already feeling the pinch.
All the people who are retired in this neighborhood, how can they afford to have such a huge increase in their property taxes? Where's that money coming from? Where are they pulling it from?
On Thursday afternoon, Mayor Scott Gillingham said he encourages people to contact the city to understand why their assessments have gone up.
I would remind people, though, there is not a direct correlation, an immediate correlation between an increase in your assessment and an increase in property taxes.
But Hepner fears her bill may increase by more than $1,000 if she doesn't appeal. Inkster Faraday resident Jonathan Schiller was recently given 5 property value assessments to look over. He says he plans on appealing 3 of those. His advice to others, appeal and plead your case if you disagree with the city's number.
So if you can use objective criteria and say, hey, look, I think you're a little bit, a bit aggressive on the reassessment because of X, Y, and Z. They'll understand.
There is also a link at the bottom of your bill that connects to the Property Assessment Department for appeal. Hepner says she has an upcoming telephone appointment. Until she gets a decision, she says she isn't holding out hope.
You would think that at some point we would get some sort of a break on our taxes, but we're not getting it.
Joseph Bernanke, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We reached out to the City of Winnipeg to find out how many people appealed their assessments. That number is low. In 2023, just 584 residents. In 2025, it was 783 people. And for context, more than 216,000 proposed assessments were sent out in this latest round. Premier Wab Kinew is hinting there may soon be a resolution to the dispute with Ontario over Crown Royal.
Our teams are working on this. He and I are speaking about this. The parent company is talking to our government, is talking to them. So, I think things are obviously maybe not in the best place, but all things considered, it's moving along in a positive direction.
Doug Ford is threatening to take Crown Royal off store shelves in Ontario. It's in response to manufacturer Diageo moving its bottling plant from Ontario to the United States. Kinew says he'd like to see the company extend an olive branch to Premier Ford. He believes if Diageo can give him something good for Ontario workers, there could be a resolution in the next few weeks. Investigators have determined the cause of a massive fire that destroyed the school on Barons River First Nation.
Oh my God.
In a letter posted to the community's social media, Chief and Council say the fire on January 27th was caused by an electrical issue in a closed crawl space within the building. The building was a total loss. According to a preliminary insurance assessment, it will cost $35 million to replace the school building itself, with another $2.5 million needed to replace the school's contents. Chief and Council say they'll need 26 or 27 portable classrooms for the 392 displaced students. It's expected getting them will take as long as 3 months. In the meantime, they plan to find and use space within the community to teach the kids. U.S. President Donald Trump is now threatening to put a 50% tariff on aircraft made in Canada. In a social media post, Trump accused Ottawa of blocking the certification of certain Gulfstream jets. The post goes on to say, quote, "We are hereby decertifying their Bombardier Global Expresses and all aircraft made in Canada until such time as Gulfstream, a great American company, is fully certified." Bombardier and Gulfstream are competitors in the business jet market. Aviation expert Phil Durdy says the decision to certify an aircraft is not up to the president.
The only way that the type certificate can be revoked is if there is a safety issue with the aircraft, there's an ongoing accident investigation. So I don't know where his information is coming from.
Bombardier has released a statement saying, quote, "We have taken note of the post from the President of the United States to social media and are in contact with the Canadian government." Currently, schools and oftentimes parents themselves are responsible for fundraising to add play structures to new schools, which are not covered by the province. But one city councillor hopes to change that.
I met a lot of parents, and a lot of them expressed frustration with having to go out and do cookie dough sales, and they're not going to raise $500,000 or $200,000 doing that. So we got to be more realistic.
St. Vital councillor Brian Mays has just released his final report on how to make funding more equitable after several meetings with parents, school staff, trustees, other councillors, and MLAs. He makes two recommendations. The first is for the province to include funding for play structures when building new schools. He suggests 1% of the total cost of a new school be set aside for play structures. The second is the city, school division, and province each set aside an equal amount of money to eventually repair the equipment, which typically has a lifespan of about 20 years.
The good thing is it's not like the city arenas where they're all 60 years old and they're all crumbling. This is, I think, if each division put in 50 grand and the city tried to match for each division in the province, then you only need to do 1 or 2 in each division a year, I think.
Mays is putting forward a motion today which would direct the public service to compile a list of all play structures on or near school property and what condition they're in. An incredible sight lit up the morning sky Thursday in Ontario. This video was captured before dawn over Barrie. It's a phenomenon known as light pillars. This happens when ice crystals form in the atmosphere and fall horizontally. The crystals then reflect light shining up at them from street lights or other sources, creating these spectacular sights. Here's a look now what's happening in traffic on Osborne Street. Looks like things are moving well starting off this morning. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning at the St. Norbert Farmers Market, and you need your layers on this morning, Ainsley. Good morning.
Well, you know what? They warm it up in here.
Okay.
So yes, while outside, Terry will tell you all about that. In here, it's a great spot to spend your Saturday. And, oh, of course, a lot of other markets in Winnipeg not happening on the winter months, right? Over 100 makers. They've got the Winter Champ Challenge right now, which is encouraging people in the city to really get out there, enjoy the outdoorness of it all, like the historic attractions, like the outdoor rinks, and the people in here who we're going to be chatting with today. There's beeswax candles, there's tea, I think it was like honey something, melon tea. I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of niche ones. That one's coming from Hayru. And we're going to learn how you can win up to $1,000 in prizes. So there's a sweet incentive included. Back to you.
Sounds like fun. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Yeah, it's a chilly start to the day. My car was registering minus 27 when I headed out this morning.
Oh, well, I think it's even dropped off from there. Hang on, I can't even hear you right now. All right, there we go. Yeah, no, I think it's actually colder than that right now. I just updated the temperature and it's cold, but there's no wind. No wind whatsoever. So minus 29 is where we're sitting right now. Thankfully, no wind, because what we don't need is anything making it feel any colder than that. It's gorgeous and clear out here this morning, though. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 78%. I was talking earlier about moon gazing on my way into work. I think it's going to be full this weekend. I believe Sunday is the full moon, so it's certainly looking beautiful and bright. I don't have it in my view right now, but that's where our light source is coming from this morning. Oh, and I do have a stage light out here. Anyway, yes, cold for one more day. Sun for one more day. Not that we won't see the sun again, but we won't be seeing it tomorrow, quite likely. Heavier clouds are going to move in for the weekend. I've been talking all week about the warm up, and we just have to wait until the weekend. And it certainly does look like we're going to see those temperatures on the rise. But in order for that to happen, we're going to deal with some pretty strong winds, getting those temperatures up to above seasonal values. Today will not be that day. Today will be the one more day of sunshine and these very cold temperatures. So minus 29 right now, headed to a high of minus 18, but minus 11, that would be normal for this time of year. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says one of Canada's biggest energy companies is taking a look at the Port of Churchill. Premier Kinew isn't naming the company, but says the Manitoba government is about to sign a non-disclosure agreement so considerations can continue. Wab Kinew has been promoting the idea of expanding the port as a new way to ship goods through the Arctic to Europe and beyond. He also says it could play a key role in defending Arctic sovereignty. It's been nearly 1 year since an explosion at a Hawaii resort left a Winnipeg man in hospital with significant injuries. He's sharing his first-hand account of the blast and his miraculous road to recovery. CTV's Anton Unger reports.
Some of the burns that I'm dealing with.
It's been a long road of recovery for Darren Stevenson.
This is third-degree burns that are still in the process of healing.
On February 20th last year, Darren and his wife Diane were at the Whaler Resort on Maui's Kanapali Beach in Hawaii. Darren was standing directly in front of a barbecue when it exploded.
I feel this concussive force hit my body, and I look down and I see my right leg in a position it's not supposed to be in.
The blast threw him 30 feet. He remembers hearing his wife screaming and the firefighters working to save his life. But Darren says in that moment of chaos, he experienced something else.
A warm, comforting feeling came over my body, and a voice said to me, "I've got you." So, you know, I contend that that was God saying you're going to be okay.
The next thing he remembers is waking up intubated in a hospital. The explosion left Darren with 9 broken ribs, his jawbone snapped in half, and his teeth knocked out, a compound fracture in his leg that nearly forced an amputation, and shrapnel across his body.
I feel grateful to have survived this.
Darren was among 13 victims in the blast who have now launched a lawsuit alleging negligence led to the explosion, caused by a gas leak.
This was the type of an accident that was completely avoidable with appropriate maintenance.
The resort declined to comment on the lawsuit. In the months since, Darren has gone through 6 surgeries with several more to come. He's had to relearn how to walk and even eat. His wife Diane by his side every step of the way.
It's one day at a time, and we still got a little road ahead of us to go.
Still, Darren feels he's been given a second chance at life and is thankful for everyone who made that possible, from the first responders to his family and friends.
At the end of the day, you know, people are good, you know, and they just want to help, and they do the right things when it's supposed to happen, and I'm living proof of that.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It's time to axe the facts. That's the message from Doctors Manitoba, which says the antiquated technology is severely slowing down the time it takes for patients to get treatment.
Over 1 million referrals and tests are requested every year in Manitoba. That's 3,000 every day. Nearly all of those referrals and requests are sent by fax or by mail.
The group says right now only 1 in 5 Manitoba physicians are able to electronically share information with each other, such as referrals or consultation reports. For everyone else, the documents must be printed, faxed, and then scanned before they can be used. And that translates into dozens of wasted hours for every physician each year, but more importantly, longer wait times for patients.
Generally in the healthcare system, the wait times that are reported are only from when the request is received at the receiving office and then to the time of completion. So there's actually a whole preceding chunk that's not being captured, and we're hearing that sometimes that review and coding lag might be up to a month. So that's 4 weeks of waiting that the patients don't even realize is happening unnecessarily.
Doctors Manitoba is recommending an overhaul of the current system, including an online e-referral system and a directory of all physicians and their specializations. Tourism-related businesses may be able to get some financial support to protect themselves from future wildfires. Tourism Manitoba is offering to help pay for equipment such as water pumps, sprinkler heads, and hoses, along with loss prevention training. Eligible businesses must be fixed roof accommodations outside of a municipality and be at high risk of damage from wildfires, such as wilderness lodges and outfitters. Expressions of interest are being accepted until February 17th. You can head to industry.travelmanitoba.com to find out more. After a long recovery, this sea turtle is finally home. Crowds cheered as PRE, the loggerhead sea turtle, took its first steps in the waters off Florida. PRE is a Hindi term that means lovely or beloved. She was found last November after surviving a likely shark attack. Injuries left her with 3 flippers. PRE is now strong enough to be on her own, and she will be tracked to keep tabs on her progress. We've got some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Main Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed between Murray and Chief Peguis. The westbound curb lane on McMillan Avenue will be closed from Coburn to Arbuthnot. And following the rush hour, the westbound curb lane on Essex Avenue will be closed from Desmarais to St. Mary's Road. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please, at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. A cold morning, one of the coldest that we've had since that deep freeze over the weekend. So these temperatures have been dropping and really plummeting overnight. With the gorgeous clear conditions, we'll see plenty of sunshine today. But yes, we are sitting in these deep freeze temperatures so far this morning. Minus 29 here in Winnipeg and Portage, minus 28 in Brandon, Dauphin coming in at minus 30. Colder yet in Fisher Branch. It is minus 34. That's where Island Lake is sitting as well. So yes, a lot of us really feeling the chill of it all. You can see it is milder further into the north. That's where the heavier clouds are going to be today. Maybe even a bit of snow, but for most of us, it will remain very, very clear. Now, no wind right now, so that's the one thing that we actually have going for us. There's no actual wind chill value to take into account, just these very cold temperatures to kick things off. Clear on the satellite image, so really not much to see here, and as the day goes on, it will remain very clear and sunny throughout. It's going to warm up, compared to where we are this morning, but we're still going to remain well below seasonal, so minus 29 as kids are getting settled into the classroom. Lunchtime temps still minus 21, and by the time they're coming home again, minus 18. That's our expected high for today. Minus 11, a normal daytime high. We'll surpass those numbers though, but the change up is going to come with some very very strong winds tomorrow, heavier clouds, some snow, and then after that, yes, we will see these milder temperatures lasting for the most part. It dips a little bit Monday as that sky clears out, but back up above seasonal, maybe even too mild, getting close to the freezing mark toward the end of next week. And little Miss Daisy waiting patiently for her stroll. Grandma was taking her sweet time. Thanks to Sharon for the photo. Keep them coming to Winnipeg weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. Snap a pic for your chance to win with our Best in Fest contest. Festival du Voyageur returns February 13th to the 22nd. And we want to see how you're gearing up. Here are some examples of how others are enjoying the snow. Charlotte is snowshoeing in the forest. William is growing out his beard. And Heather is building a Quincy. Whatever it is you're doing, we want to see it. Upload your photo to our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, or post it to social media using the hashtag BestInFestContest. Weekly winners will be selected to win a 4-pack of passes to Festival du Voyageur. Manitoba's premier poked fun at reporters raising questions over the Team Canada approach at Thursday's First Ministers meeting invoking a hit TV series.
They want there to be a heated rivalry between Doug Ford and I, but we're on the same team.
I want you to
we're going into the corners together.
I want you to just take that image
for Team Canada.
The heated rivalry between Doug Ford and Wild Canoe.
Carney later joined one of the stars of Heated Rivalry at a special event in Ottawa. CTV's Rachel Aiello was there.
The breakout Canadian star of Crave's original hit series Heated Rivalry was back on home ice. Hudson, how are you feeling tonight?
Hold on, don't ask questions.
Hudson Williams hit the red carpet at a major media industry conference in his character Shane Hollander's hometown of Ottawa. Embracing the show's soft power. How's that for soft power?
Okay, this is soft. This is true soft power.
Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Congratulations on creating a story that has struck a chord with so many across this country, around the world. Because of you, cottage season will have a whole new meaning this summer.
He may not be the most sociable.
The drama about a pair of pro hockey players, rivals on the ice and out of their skates, secret lovers, is a Canadian production to its core. From most of the cast and the soundtrack to the product placement.
I think, yeah, we've set the bar very high, but we've shown to people that it is achievable.
In just 2 months, Heated Rivalry has become the most watched and rewatched original series produced by Crave, a subsidiary of Bell Media, which also owns CTV, with fans around the world celebrating the show for casting hockey and queer joy in new light.
It's just showing that because of the investment in culture, you get to have a heated rivalry. And without that, you probably wouldn't have it.
While those behind the show say they couldn't have imagined the response, they're ready to score their next homegrown hit.
We're going to continue to and elevate, making big, making bold, making authentic, not shying away from specific, not shying away from big C Canadian content.
Heated Rivalry has already been renewed. And as showrunner Jacob Tierney hinted to me tonight, Ottawa is set to be a central plotline in season 2.
That's cool. All right, here's a look outside now. What's going on Portage Avenue at Polo Park? It's a good start so far to the day. We'll be right back after this.
It is a clear start to your Friday morning, but it is incredibly cold, minus 29, and that's just how it's sitting. No wind whatsoever to make it feel any colder, but it doesn't need to when it's coming in as chilly as that. Pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 78%. Yeah, thank goodness we're not dealing with winds on top of that, although it wouldn't take much of a breeze to really show off those intense wind chill values. Right now, clear conditions, and that'll be the case through most of the day through central and southern Manitoba anyway. Northern Manitoba might see a few more clouds building up and perhaps a little bit of snow, but nothing but sunshine today. and a bit of a breeze. It'll stay on the lighter side, though. A 15K wind is as likely as strong as it will get as our mercury climbs to a high of -18. Now, that is still well below seasonal. -11, a normal daytime high. So we're missing the mark for one more day, but at least the sun is coming out in full force today. Then we'll start to see just a few clouds building up overnight as we drop down to -22. So nowhere near as cold as this past night was. And in fact, -22 is pretty much normal for this time of year for overnight lows. Seasonal daytime highs would put us around -11. We could surpass that tomorrow. First time in a while, it seems, or at least it just speaks to how intense this past deep freeze was, because it seems like ages since we talked about above seasonal temperatures. But -8 is where we're headed now. Don't be fooled. That's not going to be balmy, because these winds will be intense out of the south, at times gusting to 70 kilometers per hour. But that brings in the warmer air, which will stick around for several days, maybe dipping slightly on Monday as the sky clears out. We'll still have those heavier clouds through the weekend, and maybe some heavier clouds on the other side of that as those temperatures continue to rise.
Thank you, Terry. A Winnipeg music teacher has been charged with sexual assault following a police investigation involving a school-aged student. A former student's parent, who we aren't identifying, says Jet Russell Panganiban taught piano lessons. And CTV News was able to acquire some video of him performing at a recital. This is a video taken of Panganiban playing the piano at a recital on December 14th, 2019 at Fort Garry United Church. Winnipeg police started investigating him in July last year after they say a victim came forward and filed a report. The child told police they were sexually assaulted by Panganiban during music lessons at a home located in the 600 block of Nairn Avenue. Police say the alleged assaults took place between January 2022 and July 2025. On Tuesday, police arrested Panganiban. The 32-year-old is charged with sexual assault, sexual interference, and invitation to sexual touching. He was released from custody. CTV News attempted to contact Panganiban. We have not heard back from him. None of the charges have been tested in court. City councillors are considering a safety review of Osborne Street. It comes after a handful of recent incidents, including the death of a woman who was hit by a vehicle in November and a young boy who was injured crossing the street. The motion says near misses are common as commuter traffic is being prioritized over pedestrian and cyclist safety. It wants the public service to study the stretch of roadway from Broadway to St. Vital Bridge and identify any safety measures that could be added. The Public Works Committee will consider the motion Wednesday. It's a difficult morning for people in Oshawa. The GM plant will shut down its third shift, leaving 500 GM employees without a job.
Our members took these jobs thinking that they had finally a good job with a good collective bargaining agreement. And a few short years later, because of things that are out of our control under the CUSMA trade negotiations that are happening right now, we're losing our third shift.
Hundreds of other workers in the supply chain will also be without work. News that the third shift was being shut down came 8 months ago, not long after the U.S. brought in tariffs aimed at the auto sector. That third shift had only been in Oshawa since 2022 for the Chevy Silverado. The union says some of that truck production is being shifted to Indiana. GM says they're still committed to staying in Oshawa. We have a new snapshot on how the affordability crisis is hitting households hard. Here's CTV's Alex Karpa on which costs are stressing out Canadians the most.
Hard to make decisions.
A trip to the grocery store is not an easy one for Ben Nye.
It's really expensive here.
Soaring prices at checkout are forcing him to carefully consider what meals he can afford to make.
That's not bad. $4.99.
Being currently unemployed and searching for work has made it a struggle to pay the bills.
As a consumer, we're being hit hard, and it's being difficult for us to actually be able to afford anything anymore.
Nye has even resorted to selling many of his things just to cover costs.
It's difficult trying to make ends meet.
Like Ben, many are feeling the impacts of rising grocery prices. A new survey finds that the biggest concerns around costs for Canadians is right here at the grocery store.
A new Nanos research poll for CTV News finds grocery prices worry Canadians more than housing costs as inflation continues to rise. More than half of Canadians say groceries are top of mind when looking to save money this year, followed by housing at almost 25% and healthcare at nearly 10%.
It speaks to the pressure that Canadians are under and how groceries are at the top of the list, significantly ahead of things like housing and healthcare and fuel and entertainment, all those things.
But experts warn that relief may not come anytime soon.
The story on tariffs are going to continue as we're trying to renew CUMSA with a very unfortunate negotiating opponent in the United States. Could be looking at, a bad year next year as well.
Let's try this.
As prices continue to climb with no end in sight, Nye says he will do whatever it takes just to stay afloat. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Demolition is underway on an East Kildonan landmark. Roxy Lanes is being dismantled piece by piece and will take some time due to the potential presence of asbestos and other toxic materials. When it first opened on Christmas Eve in 1929, it was the Roxy Theatre. In 1960, the bowling alley took over the space and operated until the doors were closed permanently in 2022. It was then purchased by the Manitoba Métis Federation, which plans to turn the site into a mixed 55-plus residential and commercial space. Here's a look at what's happening down the drive along the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are still quite light in this part of the city. It's a cold one this morning, so give your vehicle some extra time to warm up before you head out. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.27. The provincial average is $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.20, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.02. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Coming up, we're live at the St. Norbert Farmers Market this morning, telling you all about the Winter Champ Challenge. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Ooh, it's chilly out here this morning, cold enough. Those little nose hairs freeze together. It is cold, but it's going to get better. After today, we've got a nice big warm up. I know this has been a tough week to get through. I mean, we went from those incredibly cold, deep freeze temperatures of last week that prompted all of the extremes. And then we had another week to get through that didn't quite warrant those extreme cold warnings, but it was still pretty darn cold. And here we are continuing with more of that. It's minus 29. It's clear out here this morning, and the best news of all is there is no wind. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 78%, and the sky very clear. I was talking about how I was on my way into work this morning doing some moon gazing and stargazing. These clear conditions will last throughout the day today. But it isn't going to stay for the weekend. The weekend we're going to get a change up, not just with the temperatures, but with the conditions as well. So while today will be clear with light winds, we're going to see strong winds increasing throughout the day tomorrow, bringing in clouds, bringing in some snow, sideways snow perhaps, but much warmer temperatures, which will then last through the weekend and well into the middle of next week. We've got Ainsley out on location this morning. Hey, Ainsley, what's happening out there?
Well, Terry, good morning, Manitoba. Have you heard of, well, I know you've heard of beef jerky, all right, but have you heard of fruit jerky? Ian's joining us. He's the man behind it all. Food for Folks. Tell us all about this.
Thank you very much. I make dehydrated fruit jerky. So I use the same dehydrators that people use to make meat jerky, but I do fruits and vegetables. So the pieces are more chewy and caramelized, flavorful, single ingredient items. It's a slow process that you can't rush, which is why it's an artisan handmade food you will only find here at St. Norbert Farmers Market.
And there's a wide variety here. What are some of your favorites?
Well, I like the pineapple. It's nice and tart and tropical. The bananas are really chewy. They taste just like banana bread. They're probably my most popular item. I do vegetable soup mixes, like a borscht soup, and mixes of fruit, like strawberry, mango, banana, pear over here.
Lots of benefits to this, of course, health benefits. We're going to get our fruits and vegetables in, but it's great for on the go.
Yeah, well, I make sure my parents keep some of these in their glove compartment at all times. It's a good workplace snack. It won't spoil on you. I like to send them up north to communities because it'll get around issues of freight charges and spoilage. So it's a good way to distribute healthy food that way as well.
And in terms of making it, to be honest, I haven't heard of anything like this before when it comes to fruit or vegetable. Why did you want to take that approach?
Well, it's a good question. This is something that I've made up myself. I started vending at the Winnipeg Folk Festival in 2010, actually. So I was selling fresh fruit there, and all the fresh fruit that didn't sell, I wanted to dehydrate and preserve and let nothing go to waste that way.
And St. Norbert Farmers Market, there's certain items here that you can only get at the market. What do you like about coming on a Saturday?
It's something different every week here, and I get a lot of creativity with what I make. Like, the food is my art, and every week I'm creating something a little bit different. Some people describe me as the Willy Wonka of dried fruit, and I try to live up to that reputation.
I love that's so funny. Okay, can I try that one before we go to a commercial break? Yeah.
Dehydrated pineapple fruit leather. It's crispy.
The Willy Wonka of fruit jerky. Oh, sugar. Okay, 10 seconds. Delicious. Okay, more after this.
Here's a look at the early markets this Friday morning. The Dow Jones lost 180 points. The Nasdaq is 150 points lower. The S&P index dipped 31. The Canadian dollar decreased to 73.89 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 580 points down, and the Nikkei dropped 52 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Extending Chief Peguis Trail is projected to cost the city more than originally thought, but at the same time, a new report suggests the financial benefits are also going up. The report says the anticipated costs have gone up by about $3.5 million since 2024 to around $758 million. However, the cost-benefit ratio has also increased. The latest estimates suggest the city stands to gain $1.43 for every $1 spent on the project, an increase of roughly 18%. It's worth noting a separate report from consulting firm Deloitte found the cost-benefit decreased, but was still a net positive. That's due in part to significantly more traffic and growth in the areas which will be connected to the extensions, such as Centerport.
I think, long term for the future of Winnipeg, I really do believe as we continue to grow, especially as we continue to move products to and from a Centerport, to market and workers to their jobs. I believe long term the extension of Chief Peguis Trail is very important for the future of Winnipeg.
The report was meant for information only. The project still needs to be authorized and funded. The MPI Service Center in Winkler closed Thursday and will remain closed today. The decision was made after MPI became aware of a confirmed case of measles there. Anyone who was at the Winkler Service Center between January 21st and 23rd is asked to monitor for symptoms until February 14th. The center hopes to reopen Monday. Those with appointments will be contacted to reschedule. Tourism-related businesses may be able to get some financial support to protect themselves from future wildfires. Tourism Manitoba is offering to help pay for equipment such as water pumps, sprinkler heads, and hoses, along with loss prevention training. Eligible businesses must be fixed roof accommodations outside of a municipality and be at high risk of damage from wildfires, such as wilderness lodges and outfitters. Expressions of interest are being accepted until February 17th. You can head to industry.travelmanitoba.com to find out more. Prime Minister Mark Carney says a new pipeline doesn't necessarily have to end at BC's North Coast.
Under the MOU, bitumen pipeline to Asian markets is the way it's described, and therefore the specific routes are not outlined.
Both the Prime Minister and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith are indicating they are open to alternate routes for this pipeline. The project is facing strong opposition from the BC government and an environmental group called Coastal First Nations. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre will address his party in Calgary tonight as delegates decide his future at their national convention.
I will be voting to keep him. I do think he's the best person to continue to lead this party.
I like an underdog. I love a good redemption story, but I also want the message to come across very clearly that mistakes were made.
Delegates will vote on whether they support Poilievre during today's leadership review. Poilievre is expected to have the majority needed to avoid a leadership selection process, but all eyes will be on the margin of a potential victory. The review was triggered by the Conservative loss in last year's election. The Winnipeg Jets paid a visit to Tampa Bay Thursday night, taking on the Lightning. The Jets allowed Tampa Bay to build a 2-0 lead when in the second period with about 7.5 minutes remaining. Mark Scheifele feeds it back to Dylan Sandberg at the blue line and the Jets score. Unfortunately, that wrapped up the scoring for the Jets. Tampa scores another with about 5 minutes left in the second on a delayed penalty to make it 3-1. Tampa scores an empty net goal late in the game, and this one ends up 4-1 Lightning over Jets. Winnipeg next sees action against the Florida Panthers Saturday afternoon. Game time is 3 p.m. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Main Street. The southbound curb lane will be closed between Murray and Chief Peguis. The westbound curb lane on McMillan Avenue will be closed from Coburn to Arbuthnot. And following the rush hours, the westbound curb lane on Essex Avenue will be closed from Desmarais to St. Mary's Road. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us.
Outside this morning, it is cold, -29, but there's no winds, so at least it's just cold. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 78%. Of course, it won't take much of a breeze before we're seeing those wind chills seeming extreme. But so far this morning, it really is just the cold temperatures that we're dealing with. It looks pretty out there, though, doesn't it? Yeah, the lights glowing. You will need to bundle up with all those layers if you plan on heading out, though. It's just one more day to endure of the cold. Clear conditions, too, to go along with it. However, that will change through parts of northern Manitoba. You're likely to see some clouds building up and maybe even bringing a little bit of precipitation. So that'll start in the northwest and push over into the northeast. But for most of us, right up into much of northern Manitoba, it will be a beautiful sunny day, even if these temperatures are still going to be a little bit below seasonal. Now, northern Manitoba is actually in for much milder temperatures than what we're going to experience here throughout the south. And then, yes, further that you go into the north, you'll encounter the clouds and some of that precipitation. The colder temperatures are actually further into the south in these mid to high minus teens, or here in the southeast, probably those high minus teens. But plenty of sunshine is expected for us today. And then a big warm up and change up with the conditions will come tomorrow. It's not just the temperatures that'll be on the rise. Conditions changing with some very strong winds moving in. That's going to drive those temperatures up, but some heavier clouds and precipitation to kick off the weekend. So Saturday could be a little bit blustery, but those warmer temperatures will be sticking around. After a couple of cloudy days this weekend, we'll see some peaks of sunshine Monday. Temperatures dipping slightly before they're on the rise again and getting close to the freezing mark toward the end of next week.
Thanks, Terry. Let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Friday.
Rochelle, it's a happy Friday because it's the last Friday of the longest month of the year, January. Hooray!
Yes. Yay. And it was a long week as well, so we're glad it's over.
Oh. Absolutely. I can't wait to put away my parka. Hey, this got me to thinking, though. We've got a brand new month starting up, of course, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you say February or February?
Well, I try to roll my R's, but I say February. I try. That French R, though, sometimes it comes out.
Yeah, this actually started a whole conversation for us, and all the things that are mispronounced that drive us absolutely bananas. We made a list. There were a lot of contributions from people, a lot of frustrations. I mean, Bo, you have one that somebody texted in. Bo says battery.
Yeah, I said I need a new battery, and then somebody said it's battery.
It's like battery.
Right.
Like battery.
I'm also bad with the word schedule. I say schedule all the time. I don't know why. I know, Rochelle, you probably are very good at pronunciations.
Well, we have a board right now that we're looking at for like some of the words that are most commonly mispronounced. So Worcestershire, for example, is one of them. Or croissant, which is kind of a language thing, so I understand when people get that one wrong. And then there's euro and then niche. These are very common words that are mispronounced. One that drives me crazy is the word especially, when people use an X instead of the S and they say It's supposed to be especially, and they say especially. It drives me bonkers. And then the other one that gets on my nerves is supposedly with a B rather than supposedly. It's just...
Come on.
I'm such a word nerd.
So if Rochelle comes over, we're not going to serve her an espresso. We'll get her an espresso. Irregardless of that list she has. That was another one. People hate irregardless because it's not a word, right?
Right, exactly. It's
but
like
let us ask you this, Rochelle. Will we serve you a Coke or a Pepsi?
Oh, I'm a Diet Pepsi girl. I've been for a long time.
Another Pepsi one. We're having a whole debate this morning on Bounce. Coke or Pepsi? I'm Team Coke. It is brisk. It's got that crisp, brisk kind of bite.
So is Pepsi. It's the younger generation.
Yeah, I like Pepsi. But you know what? They're both delicious. If I have to choose one or the other, I'll take either or. It works for me. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Picking up garbage isn't how many preteens would choose to spend their free time, but one 11-year-old is determined to turn something bad into something beautiful. Here's CTV's Adam Sawatsky.
If Maya Lotz is going to be perfectly honest, in the beginning, this was particularly boring.
Nobody really wanted to do it.
While there were countless kinds of litter to pick up on the beach, there was just one way to describe them all. Gross.
Like sticky stuff on some of the garbages.
But Maya stuck with it because her scout leader Doug Gorley says the 11-year-old excels at turning bad situations into good ones.
She's really willing to step outside of her comfort zone and helps elevate the other kids in our group as well.
When she's not cleaning local beaches, Maya's spending hundreds of volunteer hours with Scouts and the Navy League to plant trees in support of the environment and sell poppies to support veterans. Plus, she fosters kittens in her bedroom to support the local Humane Society.
It's pretty adorable to see them running around, but sometimes it's a lot of work.
And other times, her volunteer work is fun from beginning to end, like when she bought toys to fill Christmas care packages for kids in need.
That altruism and that leadership is something that we should really nurture and support.
And Maya thinks if we can support each other in making our community better, what might seem like a boring chore at the start just might feel like winning a championship by the end.
It's really motivating to see the change by every step you take. Behind you, there's no more garbage.
And that's why when Maya looks ahead at her life, she's committed to keep making it clean and caring in whatever way she can.
If you keep on trying, then it will make a big difference in the world.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Colwood.
That's amazing. All right, well, here's what's happening right now on McPhillip Street. Things are moving well. We'll be right back after this short break. It's Friday, January 30th. Today, financial shock. Why some Winnipeg residents are in disbelief over the latest round of property assessments and what you can do if you're in a similar situation. Also today is a Crown Royal resolution in the works. We learn the latest on the trade dispute between Premiers Wab Kinew and Doug Ford. Plus an update to the fire on Barons River. We learn more details about the blaze that destroyed the First Nations only school. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock on your Friday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We made it to the end of the week. Finally, we are here, and we have a lot to cover in the next hour, including a lot of couples tend to break up in January. It's kind of the trend. What happens? Divorce lawyers get a lot of phone calls at this time of year. You know, after the holidays are done, couples realize they just don't want to stay together anymore. So a lot of separations, a lot of divorces. We're going to talk about a workshop that's coming up that is going to guide you. If you're in that situation in your life right now, it's going to guide you in the process of eliminating or getting rid of your assets, like your home, how you should approach it, and what you need to do. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that workshop. It's not where anybody wants to be, but if you are there, we have some answers for you. Indeed. The weather, though, it's a cold one today.
One more day, and then the weekend is here. Well, everything is always better on the weekend. The weather will be warmer on the weekend, maybe not better immediately, and that's because tomorrow will likely be a little bit blustery after the calm situation that we'll we'll deal with today. Calm but cold. It's minus 29 right now, so those temperatures dropped off big time last night. Very clear conditions, though. No winds whatsoever. Pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 78%. The lights glowing down at the Forks there. And honestly, when I was up on the rooftop about 20 minutes ago, when there's no wind, it's cold, sure, but if you're properly dressed for it, it doesn't feel so bad. I always say winds tend to make the situation a little worse, and that's likely going to be the case tomorrow, even though it will be warming up. Right now, very, very clear across most of the province. The exception to the very clear conditions will be a few clouds and maybe a little bit of light snow that start in the northwest and push over into the northeast later on today. So farther into the north is where you'll start to deal with a little bit of a change up. Clear, though, through central and southern Manitoba. And it'll stay that way today. Overnight, we'll start to see a few more clouds moving in, and with those clouds comes the precipitation, perhaps sideways, because the winds will be intense. So, yes, a little bit blustery, but so much warmer all weekend and well into the middle of next week. These mild and above seasonal temperatures are going to be sticking around, maybe dipping off just a little bit Monday as the sky clears after the heavier clouds of the weekend. But from there, clouds are back, but those temperatures will be on the rise again. And big thanks to Paxton for our picture today. I love the snowman art, and you can always send your pictures, whatever it is you're working on, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Big property value increases from the city hit mailboxes this week. In some cases, the proposed assessments for 2027 jumped by tens of thousands of dollars. And as CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, some fear this could lead to a hefty tax hike in the future.
Well, I almost had a heart attack.
That's how Charleswood resident Kathy Hepner reacted after opening her 2027 property value assessment preview. Her house on Rannoch Avenue was assessed at $477,000 2 years ago. Now it is $96,000 higher, $573,000. She fears her taxes will go up.
They're going to make you pay $1,000 a year more for property taxes. And for what?
Hepner says her family is already paying out $4,200 for municipal, school, and property taxes. And homeowners like her are already feeling the pinch.
All the people who are retired in this neighborhood, how can they afford to have such a huge increase in their property taxes? Where's that money coming from? Where are they pulling it from?
On Thursday afternoon, Mayor Scott Gillingham said he encourages people to contact the city to understand why their assessments have gone up.
I would remind people, though, there is not a direct correlation, an immediate correlation between an increase in your assessment and an increase in property taxes.
But Hepner fears her bill may increase by more than $1,000 if she doesn't appeal. Inkster Faraday resident Jonathan Schiller was recently given 5 property value assessments to look over. He says he plans on appealing 3 of those. His advice to others: appeal and plead your case if you disagree with the city's number.
So if you can use objective criteria and say, hey, look, I think you're a little bit, a bit aggressive on the reassessment because of X, Y, and Z, they'll understand.
There is also a link at the bottom of your bill that connects to the Property Assessment Department for appeal. Hepner says she has an upcoming telephone appointment. Until she gets a decision, she says she isn't holding out hope.
You would think that at some point we would get some sort of a break on our taxes, but, we're not getting it.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We reached out to the city of Winnipeg to find out how many people appealed their assessments. That number is low. In 2023, just 584 residents. In 2025, it was 783 people. For context, more than 216,000 proposed assessments were sent out in this latest round. Premier Wab Kinew is hinting there may soon be a resolution to the dispute with Ontario over Crown Royal.
Our teams are working on this. He and I are speaking about this. The parent company is talking to our government, is talking to them. So, I think things are obviously maybe not in the best place, but all things considered, it's moving along in a positive direction.
Doug Ford is threatening to take Crown Royal off store shelves in Ontario. It's in response to manufacturer Diageo moving its bottling plant from Ontario to the United States. Kinew says he'd like to see the company extend an olive branch to Premier Ford. He believes if Diageo can give something good for Ontario workers, there could be a resolution in the next few weeks. Investigators have determined the cause of a massive fire that destroyed the school on Barons River First Nation.
Oh my God. Oh.
In a letter posted to the community's social media, chief and council say the fire on January 27th was caused by an electrical issue in a closed crawl space within the building. The building was a total loss. According to a preliminary insurance assessment, it will cost $35 million to replace the school building itself, with another $2.5 million needed to replace the school's contents. Chief and council say they'll need 26 or 27 portable classrooms for the 392 displaced students. It's expected getting them will take as long as 3 months. In the meantime, they plan to find and use space within the community to teach the kids. Round robin play at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts is now wrapped up, and Manitoba is well represented at the front of the pack.
Carly Burgess just sneaks it by, and that will be for 2. And the win for Einarson.
And with that, Gimli's Carrie Einarson locked down a 9-8 win over British Columbia Thursday afternoon. Einarson, representing Team Canada, finishes second in Pool A with a 7-1 record. Her only loss coming at the hands of fellow Manitoban Caitlin Laws. Laws posted a 9-4 win over Saskatchewan Thursday and enters today's playoffs undefeated. Over in Pool B, Manitoba's Beth Peterson beat Alberta 7-5 last night. Peterson was also undefeated in round-robin play. All 3 teams had already qualified for the playoffs, which get underway this afternoon. After a long recovery, the sea turtle is finally home. Crowds cheered as Piari, the loggerhead sea turtle, took its first steps in the waters of Florida. Piari is a Hindi term that means lovely or beloved. She was found last November after surviving a likely shark attack. Injuries left her with 3 flippers. Piari is now strong enough to be on her own, and she will be tracked to keep tabs on her progress. Here's what's happening now along Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. You can see traffic has really picked up in this part of the city. Overall, though, moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point. If you see issues out there, let us know, please.
Bombardier is responding to President Trump's threat to revoke certification for all aircraft manufactured in Canada, including Bombardier's Global Express business jet. And he also warned of a 50% tariff on Canadian aircraft until U.S.-made Gulfstream jets are certified in Canada. Now, Bombardier's response reads in part, Bombardier is an international company that employs more than 3,000 people in the U.S. across 9 major facilities and creates thousands of jobs through U.S. suppliers. We hope this is quickly resolved to avoid a significant impact to air traffic and the flying public. Ontario's Minister of Agriculture met with Dubai Chambers on January 30th to discuss enhancing bilateral cooperation in food technology, agriculture, and import-export trade. Dubai Global Chamber opened a representative office in Toronto last year to support companies in both Dubai and Canada and promote Dubai's competitive advantage. Now, Canadian movie star Ryan Reynolds, his Welsh soccer team, Wrexham AFC, has been caught up in the collapse of the UK currency brokerage Argentex. The club had placed $8.5 million with the London firm, but it collapsed into a form of insolvency in July as a result of soured foreign exchange trades, according to documents filed in the UK. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The Winter Champ Challenge is happening at the St. Norbert Farmers Market. Good morning, Ainsley. Tell us more about what that's all about.
Well, Rochelle, you stamp when you come, and you can win up to $1,000. It's an opportunity to encourage people to get outside during these cooler times and exploring the farmers market. You're going to see over 1,000 different vendors. Myself and Kenny were sitting in the vehicle just throwing back that jerky from earlier on in the show. Fruit jerky, things that you wouldn't traditionally hear about. Manitobans getting creative. Coming up at 7:27, we're chatting with the maker of Hey Roo. And speaking of something you may not have heard of, sweet potato tea. We're going to learn all about its ingredients, and he even told us we might even get a non-alcoholic hottie toddy to start off our morning. But that Winter Champ Challenge, you got to come to the market on Saturdays. It is a lot warmer in here than it is outside. Check it out. out for yourself.
That's what you need right now. Okay, thank you. And maybe a hot toddy after the end of today would be just right, because it's a cold one.
Yes, it is a cold one. Again, one more day of it before we're seeing some improvements. But at least the winds are still on the lighter side. They're not non-existent like they were through much of last hour, when at the top of 6 o'clock they were registering no wind whatsoever. Now it's only a 4K wind, but it does add that extra bite. So minus 29 and the wind chill value of minus 34 as a result. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 79%. Still very, very light winds. So that's not really making too much of a difference out here this morning. And it is very clear. It's going to be a beautiful looking day. Plenty of sunshine expected through most of the province, southern, central, even parts of northern Manitoba will be enjoying abundant sunshine today. Further that you go up into the north, starting in the northwest, moving into the northeast later on today, there will be some clouds, maybe even a little bit of scattered snow. We could be seeing all of that change up coming for tomorrow after a clear but cold day today. Some heavier clouds moving in for the weekend, bringing some snow and some very strong winds. That's going to bring the temperatures up though. So a big change up in all conditions for the weekend itself, and then those mild temps will continue through next week.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today when we chatted with Bounce Radio, we talked about mispronounced words. So we want to know which mispronounced words bother you the most. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget, please, to include your name. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing. We want to see even more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here's a look outside now on Provencher Bridge. Things are moving well here. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. Morning. It's time to axe the facts. That's the message from Doctors Manitoba, which says the antiquated technology is severely slowing down the time it takes for patients to get treatment.
Over 1 million referrals and tests are requested every year in Manitoba. That's 3,000 every day. Nearly all of those referrals and requests are sent by fax or by mail.
The group says right now only 1 in 5 Manitoba physicians are able to electronically share information with each other, such as referrals or consultation reports. For everyone else, the documents must be printed, faxed, and then scanned before they can be used. And that translates into dozens of wasted hours for every physician each year, but more importantly, longer wait times for patients.
Generally in the healthcare system, the wait times that are reported are only from when the request is received at the receiving office and then to the time of completion. So there's actually a whole preceding chunk that's not being captured, and we're hearing that sometimes that review and coding lag might be up to a month. So that's 4 weeks of waiting that the patients don't even realize is happening unnecessarily.
Doctors Manitoba is recommending an overhaul of the current system, including an online e-referral system and a directory of all physicians and their specializations. An Alberta separatist group met recently with government officials in the U.S., and BC Premier David Eby is calling this treason.
To go to a foreign country and to ask for assistance in breaking up Canada, there's an old-fashioned word for that, and that word is treason.
Representatives from Stay Free Alberta say they were in Washington on a fact-finding mission. The White House tells CTV News no support or commitments were conveyed to the group. However, U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, has recently called Alberta a natural partner for the U.S. Both Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith have said they expect the U.S. to respect Canadian sovereignty. An incredible sight lit up the morning sky Thursday in Ontario. This video was captured before dawn over Barrie. It's a phenomenon known as light pillars. This happens when ice crystals form in the atmosphere and fall horizontally. The crystals then reflect light shining up at them from streetlights or other sources, creating these spectacular sights. Don't see any pillars out here at Confusion Corner, but overall traffic is moving quite well in this part of the city. If you see any problems, let us know, please.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
In entertainment now, a Canadian favorite will lead a cast of top-tier figure skaters in Winnipeg this spring. Stars on Ice returns to Canada Life Centre on May 6th. Canadian skating icon Elvis Stojko will be joined by Olympic medalist, world champion, and three-time Canadian champion Caitlin Osmond, five-time Canadian dance champions Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, and 2026 Canadian national pair champs Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud, among others. Kurt Browning returns as director and choreographer. Tickets are on sale right now. Season 4, Part 1 of Bridgerton is officially out now.
Here are 5 things to remember about where Bridgerton left off.
1. After a surprisingly bumpy carriage ride to the sweet orchestral sounds of Mr. Worldwide himself,
Lord Pitbull,
Penelope and Colin tie the knot and have an adorable baby.
the new Lord Featherington.
He's so cute, isn't he?
But in case you're not caught up to speed, the cast of the show shared major plot reminders on social media. Part 2 of Season 4 will be dropping February 26th. And Minnedosa is gearing up to rock this summer. Rocking the Fields of Minnedosa is out with this year's lineup. Collective Soul is one of the bands headlining the 3-day festival at the end of July. They join a crowded field of rockers including Helix, Quiet Riot, Smash Mouth, Cheap Trick, 5440, and Harlequin, to name just a few. The annual festival runs July 31st to August 2nd. General sale tickets are available February 13th. Just head to rockinthefields.ca. Your Friday primetime lineup starts with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune at 7. Happy's Place is on at 8, followed by Stumble at 8:30, and Boston Blue winds up at 9 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Driving in today, Terry, the skies were nice and clear. I even saw a shooting star.
Did you?
I
Did you make a wish?
I did make a wish.
I won't
right
ask
away.
you what you wished for, unless you want to share.
No, it's a secret.
Okay.
Yeah. It won't happen if I tell you.
No, I'm fair. That's what I said. I wouldn't ask, but if you felt like sharing, listen.
It was cool, though. It was really cool because it just blew my mind.
Oh, I
Just
love that.
Driving in the dark is nice. Yeah.
Capturing a moment like that, it just feels so special. Well, if you did happen to wish, and I'm not trying to make a guess, but if you happen to wish for warmer weather, it looks like you might in fact have that wish come true. We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Warmer weather is on the way. We do have one more cold day to get through first. Very cold temperatures that are kicking off our morning. You can see that looking at these numbers this morning. We're at minus 29 right now in Winnipeg, and that's where Dauphin is as well. Minus 27 in the Morden Winkler area along with Kenora, but there's a few minus 30s showing up through Gimli, Portage, Brandon. These temperatures well below what you would expect this time of year. Minus 21. That would be a normal low temperature. We will start to see more normal temperatures though in the days ahead. So just have to get through today. For northern Manitoba, look at, so up to Island Lake, well, we've got Fisher Branch, Island Lake in those mid minus 30s, but then further up into the north, it doesn't seem so bad. There's some extra clouds, and it does provide that layer of insulation. So up in the Lynn Lake area, only minus 18. Only. I mean, it does actually sound like an only compared to some of these other numbers that we're talking about. Winds are very light. They'll remain so today, and the conditions very clear, so plenty of sunshine is expected. 8:05 is when it begins to rise here in Winnipeg, and we'll see it throughout the day today. Not throughout the weekend, though. Things will be changing up for that, but today, very clear. And all of this sunshine, unfortunately, won't be doing much to warm us up. So minus 29 as kids get into the classroom. Lunchtime temperature, minus 21. Home time, minus 18. That's our expected high today, when minus 11 is normal. But surpassing seasonal values for the weekend with some heavier clouds, stronger winds, and some perhaps sideways snow on Saturday. And our weather picture today, this is little Miss Daisy, waiting for her walk oh so patiently. And thank you so much to Sharon, who sent this photo to us. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. All the excitement surrounding Crave's heated rivalry is showing no signs of slowing down. The Canadian show has become a global phenomenon, and it got some very special attention at a Canadian media industry conference.
And I was at 10 out of 10 before.
Yeah.
We've turned it to 11. We've got to the Spinal Tap moment.
Spinal Tap.
Prime Minister Mark Carney stopped by and he got to try on the now famous Team Canada fleece jacket from the show. The jacket has gotten so popular that official replicas will now be produced and sold. CTV News and Crave are owned by Bell Media, a division of BCE. A pair of Southern Alberta photographers is among those taking top honors in the Canadian Geographic Photo of the Year competition. CTV's Kevin Green caught up with them as they celebrated the distinction.
Regular viewers of CTV will be familiar with the stunning photographs Calgary's Matt Melnick takes of the Northern Lights. But it was this picture Melnick captured of a lightning strike just southeast of Calgary that took top honors in weather, seasons, and skies in the Canadian Geographic Photo competition.
You know, I was looking at everyone else's photos and there was some unbelievable stuff. So I was a little bit shocked, but also, you know, very excited and happy and thrilled. And it's an amazing achievement, absolutely.
Photos were judged in 4 categories, the others being flora, fauna, and fungi, epic landscapes, and outdoor adventure, which is where Banff's Will Lambert took top honors with this shot of a friend climbing inside an ice cave at Jasper's Dome Glacier.
It was a particularly memorable day out with a couple of good friends and there just with the intention of exploring if we create something great, but just an amazing day out in the mountains. And yeah, I think this was one particular one that did come out really well, but you just never know, right?
Over half the top photos in this year's Canadian Geographic contest came from Western Canada.
I really just think it's because of the geographic diversity of particularly Alberta and BC. I mean, you've got the mountains, you've got wide open prairie, you've got incredible thunderstorms, you've got tremendous biodiversity in the mountains, on the coast.
For Melnick, it's also about planning and execution.
I put some planning into it. I frame it and basically, yeah, see the picture before you take it. I can kind of see that. I call it my superpower.
Lambert, however, doesn't overthink his adventure photos.
I think sometimes going with less of a plan and just the only intention being out there and having a great day, being safe and enjoying the mountains that you're out in, you know, anything else is a bonus.
There were over 7,000 entries in this year's Canadian Geographic Photograph Contest. Anthony Bucci of Port McNeill, BC, took top honors as Photographer of the Year. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
It's time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Bruno. This 5-year-old is very sweet, playful, and an incredibly loyal friend. He really loves to walk and cuddling up on a lap as much as he'll fit. Next up is Lenola. This just over a year old is full of energy, ready to learn new tricks and test her skills. She's a ray of sunshine in the bitter cold. And meet Muffin, a 6-year-old tabby who can be just as sweet as her name implies. She loves routine, a good head scratch, and tasty treats. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is there on your screen. Here's a look now at what's happening on the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well here, but we do have a traffic note to tell you about. The northbound gateway approaching McLeod. There is a motor vehicle crash there blocking the northbound curb lane, so keep left to pass. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the St. Norbert Farmers Market. You're going to tell us about another locally made product. Good morning.
Good morning, Manitoba. How lucky am I to be able to just sip and sample and taste and get a private tour. Joseph from Hayru's joining us to tell us all about some of the unique flavors with these teas. Sweet potato pie, how do you put that together?
It's actually made out of natural, regular sweet potato that is grown in Kenya. It's kind of unique because it's purple in color. It's then chopped up, fermented for tea purposes, then roasted like a dark roasted coffee. So the roasty aroma kind of give you an illusion of a coffee. Otherwise, there's no coffee or caffeine in it at all, and it's a good source of iron for daily supplements. So we've also elevated the beverage as well. We serve it as a hot beverage on Saturday when we come to St. Norbert's Farmers Market. We make a hot toddy out of it. So all we do, we put a shot of this zero-proof, non-alcoholic bourbon whiskey to give it a hot toddy aroma. Then we sweeten it with Peter Fay's brown sugar syrup to give it a nice cardamom sweetness to that. And you can choose either the sweet potato, the natural standard one, or you could do the chai one. We've got it in 2 flavors that way. The chai one is my favorite, but then for health purposes, I kind of like the sweet potato better.
So yeah, received a lot of positive feedback from this. Is it because of the lower caffeine element?
It's got no caffeine at all. It's more about the coffee culture. For health reasons, people are trying to get away from coffee. So this kind of soothes that cravings for that roasty aroma of a coffee. And otherwise, also a health benefit because of the iron benefit. People tend to say, oh, I didn't know that, because people tend to look for caffeine to get that boost. But in the evening, you can't do that. So this will give you that boost for iron and also for daily supplements after a long day of working and running around, and that's just what it is.
And with the colder weather as well, he's got a body butter too, so if your skin is cracking, time for that. Back to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Ainsley. I always need something to pick me up at the end of the day, but again, I don't want to do coffee, right? Because then I'll be up all night.
That's just it, yeah. But you don't want to be, I mean, especially on our schedule, and we're like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. It's time to go back to bed. I know that also tends to happen once we deal with the time change in November, right? 4 o'clock rolls around and it's dark and you're thinking, gosh, it feels so late. Well, now those days are getting longer. We gained another 3 minutes yesterday. It is still cold, though. Below seasonal temperatures will continue yet. Minus 29 right now, feels like minus 34 with an east-northeast wind 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity at 79%. So 8:05 is when that sun officially rises this morning, and we're going to be seeing plenty of it throughout most of the province today. Mainly sunny conditions. The far north will be the bit of the exception to that. Perhaps a few extra clouds across northern Manitoba and some light snow, which we could be seeing for tomorrow. But today, just sunshine. And still with the cold temperatures, minus 18, that's as warm as it'll likely get for us. Minus 11 would be a normal daytime high. Minus 21, a normal low. Well, minus 29 this morning is far off the mark, but where we're going to fall to this coming night, pretty close to seasonal, and then perhaps surpassing seasonal temperatures for tomorrow. Now, those winds start to increase overnight, getting even stronger for tomorrow. At times, they could be gusting to 70 kilometers per hour. Minus 8, well above seasonal. I mentioned minus 11 being a normal daytime high, but some heavier clouds, some sideways snow with those very strong winds, and the heavier clouds to last through the rest of the weekend, with a bit of sunshine Monday as those temperatures dip slightly, but warming up again on the other side into next week.
A Winnipeg music teacher has been charged with sexual assault following a police investigation involving a school-aged student. A former student's parent, who we aren't identifying, says Jet Russell Panginiban taught piano lessons, and CTV News was able to acquire some video of him performing at a recital. This is a video taken of Panginiban playing the piano at a recital on December 14th, 2019 at Fort Garry United Church. Winnipeg police started investigating him in July last year after they say a victim came forward and filed a report. The child told police they were sexually assaulted by Panginiban during music lessons at a home located in the 600 block of Nairn Avenue. Police say the alleged assaults took place between January 2022 and July 2025. On Tuesday, police arrested Panginiban. The 32-year-old is charged with sexual assault, sexual interference, and invitation to sexual touching. He was released from custody. CTV News attempted to contact Panginiban. We have not heard back from him. None of the charges have been tested in court. The latest round of job cuts in the public service will be at the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The CFIA will cut 587 jobs over the next 3 years. These job cuts are part of Ottawa's move to reduce the size of the public service by 28,000 positions. Overall, about 18,000 federal public servants have now received workforce adjustment notices. A man from Minnesota has been arrested and charged for allegedly trying to break Luigi Mangione out of jail. According to authorities, Mark Anderson showed up at the federal jail that's holding Mangione. He then allegedly told officers he was an FBI agent, presenting signed paperwork authorizing Mangione's release. When officers asked for ID, Anderson is said to have given them his driver's license while claiming to have weapons. A search of his bag found a barbecue fork and a pizza cutter. Police say they don't know if there's a link between Anderson and Mangione, who is accused of killing a healthcare CEO. Anderson is facing charges, including impersonating a federal officer. He's now being held at the same jail as Luigi Mangione. U.S. President Donald Trump says Russia's Vladimir Putin has agreed to a week-long pause in attacks on Ukraine's capital and other major regions because of the harsh cold. There's no official confirmation of a pause from Russia, but Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the move. President Trump did not specify when the temporary pause would begin. We do know air raid alerts went off overnight in 4 regions. Russia has been intensifying attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure over the past few weeks. It's been nearly 1 year since an explosion at a Hawaii resort left a Winnipeg man in hospital with significant injuries.
I feel this concussive force hit my body, and I look down and I see my right leg in a position it's not supposed to be in.
On February 20th last year, Darren Stevenson and his wife Diane were at the Whaler Resort on Maui's Kanapali Beach in Hawaii. Darren was standing directly in front of a barbecue when it exploded. The blast threw him 30 feet. The explosion left Darren with 9 broken ribs, his jawbone snapped in half, and his teeth knocked out, a compound fracture in his leg that nearly forced an amputation, and shrapnel across his body. The recovery has been long and challenging.
It's one day at a time, and we still got a little road ahead of us to go.
With his wife Diane by his side every step of the way, Darren has gone through 6 surgeries with several more to come. He's had to relearn how to walk and even eat. Darren was among 13 victims in the blast who have now launched a lawsuit alleging negligence led to the explosion caused by a gas leak. The resort has declined to comment on the lawsuit. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Main Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed between Murray and Chief Peguis. The westbound curb lane on McMillan Avenue will be closed from Coburn to Arbuthnot. And following the rush hours, the westbound curb lane on Essex Avenue will be closed from Desmarais to St. Mary's Road. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.27. The provincial average is $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is the same, and the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Right now, we're sitting at minus 29 degrees. With a wind chill, it feels more like minus 34. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this.
Minus 29 outside this morning, but it feels like minus 34. It is barely a breeze, but it doesn't take much to make a difference to that wind chill number. East-northeast winds are only 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 79%. Just a few minutes away from sunrise now. Well, 25 minutes away from sunrise. 24. 8:05, that's when the sun is going to be rising for us this morning. And with these clear conditions, you can probably already see some day glow out there. Very clear throughout the day, throughout most of the province. The exception to the clear sky will be just along that most northern border, where some heavier clouds could bring a little bit of light snow, but also some milder temperatures. In fact, you're going to notice temperatures across northern Manitoba a few degrees warmer than what we'll be reaching here in the south. But anybody further south of that heavy cloud in the most northern stretch, so basically parts of northern Manitoba, central Manitoba, all of southern Manitoba, sun will be shining for us today. And yes, for some, we'll still deal with these below seasonal temperatures. Others across northern Manitoba, your mercury will be on the rise, getting up to minus 11 in places like Flin Flon, Lynn Lake. But you will have those heavier clouds and perhaps a little bit of precipitation. Just below that, or just south of that, I should say, that's where the clear conditions will be, and all throughout central southern Manitoba, with that sunshine, temperatures still a bit below normal. I mentioned minus 11 being that seasonal daytime high, but none of us throughout the south will be getting to those numbers, instead ending up in the high minus teens as it warms up today. But winds remaining on the lighter side and plenty of sunshine. At least it will look good. Now, it'll start to, it'll start to feel better tomorrow. I won't say that, though, because the winds will be intense. It'll start to warm up tomorrow with some very strong winds out of the south, gusting at times to about 70 kilometers per hour, with some heavier clouds and precipitation that'll likely be coming at you sideways. From there, though, those milder temperatures will be lasting not just the weekend. You can see well into the middle of next week. The mercury just keeps rising.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the St. Norbert Farmers Market. When you go visit, you'll always get an option to have some fresh popcorn. Good morning.
Rochelle, I'm not sure if when you and cameraman Kenny were working together, he would tell you if there was a kernel in your teeth, but I'm going to leave it up to the audience with our HD programming to make sure that's not happening. Sandy Fox is joining us now, and as you mentioned, fresh popcorn when you come to the St. Norbert Farmers Market. It's all because of you, so tell us how it all started.
Well, we started about 15 years ago. We bought it from the people that were running it, and they were moving to Alberta. area, and I thought this would be a great project for my son and I to do. So we started doing Saturdays at the farmers market, and we've been doing that just over 15 years now.
What is so special about Saturday at this market in particular?
Well, I love this market. It's really a community. It's a family, and every Saturday when I come, even now in the wintertime, I just go around and talk to everybody, and it just is a feeling like home. I can't even describe it, how nice it is to have all of these people here and all working together, and Danielle does such a great job here, so really appreciate her as well.
Now let's get to the popcorn. I already did sample it, as I mentioned. It's got those lovely notes of sweet and salty. What is, I guess the secret?
Well, there's no secret. We have a huge, big stainless steel kettle that we use, and I'll show you here. This is called Colonel Sandy's kettle corn. So this was kind of a play on Colonel Sanders, so that's where we got the name from there. And I have my regular customers that come week after week, and they need to have their popcorn. So this year I started doing every second week in the wintertime, just so that I could keep their addiction going. So, but yeah, the sweet and salty, you can't mess up having that perfect combination of both.
And people are really thinking of shopping local right now. Why should they try Sandy's corn?
Well, it's only got 4 ingredients in it, so a lot of people will not have allergies, especially kids. So I've provided it for school groups before, because all there is popcorn, sea salt, corn oil, and white sugar.
Oh, delicious. Just what you need on a day like today. It does not come with dental floss. See you later.
Thank you, Ainsley. StatsCan is set to release the latest GDP numbers this morning. The new release follows surprise growth in the third quarter when it rose to 2.6%, despite a drop of 0.3% reported in October alone. Joining us now with more is CTV's Kamil Karamali. Good morning, Kamil.
Hey, good morning, Rochelle.
Thanks for joining us. Now tell us what we should expect or could expect today.
Yeah, so the StatsCan GDP data released literally 15 minutes ago, and I've been trying to sift through it as quickly as possible. What the headline is that the GDP for November remains unchanged. 0% is what was determined by StatsCan after that 0.3% decline in October. Once again, November's real GDP by industry, 0%, a monthly change. It has not changed in November. And that was largely driven by contractions in the manufacturing and agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting sectors. So we saw the wholesale trade sector go down and contract by 2.1% in November. That's the largest contraction since April 2025. So the wholesale trade sector, largely the reason why we didn't see an increase in the GDP. But what we did see an increase in is the retail trade. That sector expanded 1.3% in November, so the good news there. And also, we are getting a little bit of a snapshot into December, Rochelle, and we've seen from StatsCan and their data that the real GDP increased 0.1% in December and overall increased 1.3% in 2025. So some good news there as we look forward to December.
And since we're in a trade war with the U.S., any numbers going up is a good sign indeed. Thank you, Kamil, for this. We appreciate your time today.
Anytime, Rochelle.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 6th birthday to Ellie. Love Grady, Charlie, Mom, and Dad. Happy birthday, Roz, from friends and family. Happy birthday, Jack and Stella, from Grandma Bert and all the family and friends. Happy 10th birthday, Abel. Love from Mom, Dad, Grandma, Auntie Finn, Mila, and Noah. Happy birthday to Tasha and Julia, born on the same day, a year apart. Love from your whole family. Happy birthday, Colin, from your family and all your cats. Happy 18th birthday, Miss Kyla. Love your family, friends, and the cats. Happy 11th birthday, Kemsley. Love Mom, Dad, Hero, and your family. Happy 4th birthday, Avery Ray. Love from all your family. Happy birthday to Bingo Buddy, Dennis, from Gail. And happy 30th birthday, Brittany. Love from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
All right, minus 18 is likely where we're going to top out today as far as the climb the mercury does. And minus 11 is normal for this time of year, so we're not going to get anywhere near that. The last year temperature, minus 2.2, is certainly well above where we're headed today, but all the way back in 1993, we got up to 5.1 degrees. So very, very mild way back when. Today, I know it's not going to be that warm day, but the warm-up is finally coming. Once we're looking ahead to the weekend, we're going to start to see those improvements with the temperatures at least, but maybe not with the conditions. Today, the conditions will be pretty ideal. Plenty of sunshine, though it's not up yet. 8:05, it begins to rise. Where we're sitting right now at minus 29 is very light with the wind, so a 4K wind, but it still adds a bite. A wind chill value right now of minus 34. Pressure rising, the humidity at 79%, and these clear conditions are likely to last throughout the day through most of the province. The far north will be the exception to that, with some heavier clouds and a little bit of light snow, which we'll be seeing for the weekend. And I mentioned the warm-up. Yes, the temperatures will be on the rise tomorrow, but clouds will move in. Snow is coming with them. Very strong winds that actually begin to increase tonight and intensify throughout the day tomorrow. So while the temperatures are expected to rise to above seasonal values, it will come with some very strong winds and perhaps some sideways snow. Now, that'll be for Saturday. Heavier clouds lingering into Sunday. Temperatures dipping slightly Monday as the sunshine returns, but then throughout the rest of next week, mercury just keeps climbing, and we could get close to the freezing mark toward the end of the week.
A new year is often a time for change, and for some couples, it means the end of their marriage. January is a busy time of year for divorce lawyers, and if you're finding your relationship is at a crossroads right now, there are things you should know before you and your partner start separating your biggest assets, like your home. An upcoming free workshop called Navigating Divorce and Real Estate can help guide you through a divorce or separation and know what to expect. Joining us now are realtor Jason Penner and mortgage broker Chad Wilson. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you've been doing this for 4 years.
Yep.
You've been doing this for 23 years. Typically, January is when you start seeing this happen.
For sure.
What do you think is going on typically in these couples?
Well, I think, the family holidays are wrapped up, and that sort of family obligation has now been put aside, and people maybe are spending a lot of time inside, and they're starting to maybe wear on each other's nerves, what have you. So they start discussing what's going to happen next, and if maybe there needs to be a change somewhere.
So you're typically approached by a lawyer who wants to, or a couple that wants to figure out a way to separate those assets, right?
Yeah, it kind of happens a couple different ways. I've seen people come to me and say, hey, what's my house worth? Because they realize that's their biggest asset. The other one is, hey, we're already working with a mediator or a lawyer, and we need to understand what our asset is.
Okay, and so typically you either work with them together, or it's just one, and then the other one needs its own?
It depends on their situation, and that's something that has to be navigated and has to be very transparent. If everybody's amicable, if we can be in the same room together, absolutely, let's work together. If maybe there is some tension there, maybe not everybody is on the same page, then it's definitely worth everybody getting their own realtor in terms of assessing the property.
Okay, so what's the first thing you do if you decide this is it, we don't want to do this anymore, we're going to get a separation or split up? What do you do first?
On my end, either people give me a call and they say, hey, we need to know what our house is worth, or they call somebody like Chad where it's, hey, how much do we owe on our house? Okay,
so Chad, what would you say in that case? What are the most common mistakes couples make?
I mean, planning is so important as it relates to mortgage financing. It's typically the biggest asset they ever have. Often my clients are calling me as a first point of contact in some cases because they don't know what their mortgage balance is and they don't know what their home is worth. So that's where Jason and I come in. And it's just so important. There's really two ways that they can navigate that separation. Number one, they can sell the marital asset, divide the equity, and go and purchase their home. And number two, they can decide that one's going to stay in the home and the other one's going to carry on their own. So it's really important to work with an experienced mortgage professional to understand what those options are and understand how important the planning side of it is to make sure that, friction costs money. And if they don't get on the same page quickly with a separation agreement, things can get expensive.
Okay, so what's the most common mistake couples make when they split?
What I see is people think the separation agreement keeps everybody happy, keeps banks happy, keeps lenders happy. Just because you have a formal letter saying, hey, we're separated, a bank or lender does not really care. They want to know how they're going to get paid.
Okay.
Right. So just because you have a separation in order or in place doesn't mean you're off title, doesn't mean you're off the mortgage obligation.
So what do you do in that case then?
Talk to a lender,
Yeah.
somebody who is going to help you refinance it and understand kind of your risks and your liabilities.
And we're only grazing the surface as we chat this
For sure.
morning. There's so many other factors to consider. That's why you're offering this free workshop. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this came about because I do a fair bit of property appraisals for be it divorce lawyers or mediators, and notice the same questions coming up and sort of the same sentiment amongst people. They were lost. They didn't understand their next step. They didn't understand the direction they had to take. So kind of drafted this idea up, ran it by Chad. He was on board, and put it out there into the world. It's been like 3 days live, and we already have like half of it filled.
Oh my
So there's obviously
goodness.
a demand for this.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're almost out of time already. If somebody's watching this and this hits home for them, what do they need to do?
If you want to sign up, go to jasonpenner.ca. It's right there on the front page now to sign up for this workshop. The other thing I'm offering is if in-person doesn't work for you, be it circumstance, be it schedule, what have you, happy to do a Zoom call. Happy to help you out and just navigate you through this whole process.
Okay, well, thanks you guys for sharing this with us. If you want more information, we do have a link on our website. Thanks again.
Wonderful, thank you.
Jermaine Franklin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for it, we head to Europa League. Stuttgart Young Boys off the corner. Sandro Lauper with the incredible volley into the top corner. The center back with a gorgeous volley that slices into the back of the net. A fantastic goal. And your must-see moment from Thursday. And tonight on TSN, we've got Raptors basketball. The Raps heading to Orlando to face the Magic. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
Good morning, Manitoba. It is Friday, January 30th, 8 a.m. You're watching Your Morning Winnipeg. Thank you so much for being with us. And we have a lot in the next hour for you. Today is Hot Chocolate Day. So we're going to get some hot chocolate right here in studio with Decadence Chocolate. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. We're also going to speak with a professor who's based in Minnesota, and we're going to get the latest. There is supposed to be a general strike across the United States today in protest of the ICE officers. So we're going to find out a little bit more on what the situation is looking like right now in Minneapolis and the latest developments on that strike as well. But the weather, if you're protesting...
Let's back to that hot chocolate, shall we? Because yes, today is the kind of day that having a cup of that would be perfect. It's still cold out there this morning. And I mean, it's going to warm up this weekend, but even as it warms up, I'm going to say hot chocolate still would be the perfect beverage to get you through the weekend because it's going to warm up, but it's going to be pretty blustery and very, very windy. Right now, those winds are very light, though, so we do at least have that in our favor. Minus 29, those cold temperatures sticking around for another day yet. It feels like minus 34 with a 4K wind out of the east-northeast, the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 79%. Minutes away from sunrise, 8:05, that begins. It's very clear out here this morning, and that'll be the case throughout the day today. So even though it's incredibly cold, plenty of sunshine is expected. The exception to that will be up in that very northern part of the province with some heavier clouds, maybe some scattered precipitation starting in the northwest, pushing over into the northeast as the day goes on. But many of us will enjoy nothing but sunshine today. And yes, these very cold temperatures, but it finally comes to an end today. I know we had last weekend the extremes, and then even all throughout this week, it remained well below the seasonal temperatures that you would expect this time of year. But now, as we're moving into the weekend, a big change up is coming. But a big change up comes not just with the temperatures, with the conditions as well. So clear, but the clouds are moving in. We're going to be seeing some snow with them, and then those flurries could be coming at us sideways because of the strong winds that we're expecting over the weekend. As far as the temperatures go, though, sure, well above normal. Minus 11 normal for this time of year. -18 is as good as it gets today, but after today, everything improves with the temperatures, but I mentioned those very strong winds. And our art today is all thanks to Paxton, 6 years old. We appreciate what you've done here. Keep sending those pictures to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Big property value increases from the city hit mailboxes this week. In some cases, the proposed assessments for 2027 jumped by tens of thousands of dollars. Some ratepayers fear this could lead to a hefty tax hike in the future.
They're going to make you pay $1,000 a year more for property taxes. And for what?
Charleswood resident Kathy Hepner's 2027 property value assessment jumped $96,000 up to $573,000. Just 2 years ago, the assessment was $477,000. She fears her taxes will be going up. Hepner says her family is already paying out $4,200 for municipal, school, and property taxes. And homeowners like her are already feeling the pinch. On Thursday afternoon, Mayor Scott Gillingham said he encourages people to contact the city to understand why their assessments have gone up.
I would remind people, though, there is not a direct correlation, an immediate correlation between an increase in your assessment and an increase in property taxes.
There's also a link at the bottom of your bill that connects to the Property Assessment Department for appeal. Kathy Hepner says she has an upcoming telephone appointment until she gets a decision. She says she isn't holding out hope that the rise in her proposed assessment won't eventually lead to a substantially higher tax bill. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says one of Canada's biggest energy companies is taking a look at the Port of Churchill. Premier Kinew isn't naming the company, but says the Manitoba government is about to sign a non-disclosure agreement so considerations can continue. Wab Kinew has been promoting the idea of expanding the port as a new way to ship goods through the Arctic to Europe and beyond. He also says it could play a key role in defending Arctic sovereignty. And Alberta First Nation is advising its band members to take precautions when crossing into the United States after a run-in with American authorities. The Blood Tribe First Nation is located in southern Alberta near Lethbridge. The band says it learned some of its members while crossing the Canada-U.S. border were stopped and detained by authorities, including ICE agents, and that treaty rights should provide them protection. The Blood Tribe is advising its members to carry extra documentation, like a birth certificate, if crossing the border. And the Assembly of First Nations has released a statement on social media advising all First Nations members across the country to carry valid identification when looking to cross into the U.S., including a status card or Canadian passport. The Canadian Olympic Committee has revealed some details about the 207 athletes who are slated to represent Canada on the world stage at the Winter Games in the coming weeks. The majority of Team Canada's athletes heading to Milan are from Ontario, with 49 athletes hail from Quebec and 46 from Alberta. 2 athletes representing our nation were actually born outside Canada. More than half are participating in women's events. The youngest is Calgary snowboarder Felicity Guram, and at 18. Quebec figure skater Diana Stellato-Dudek is the oldest at 42. 99 will be competing in men's events. The youngest there is Quebec snowboarder Eli Bouchard at 18. Alberta curler Mark Kennedy is the oldest at 44. Here's what's happening in traffic now along Donald Street. Things have picked up over here, but overall moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
There's a challenge going on right now at the St. Norbert Farmers Market. Ainsley McPhail is there right now to tell us more. Hello.
Hi, you know what? Everybody in that traffic report picking up, they're heading to St. Norbert to take part in this challenge. We're just all in flocks on Friday morning and ready to go. Danielle Mondor, that's what this whole challenge is about too. Getting people to this area, and the farmers market is a perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah, exactly. We are here every single Saturday, and really being in this community has made me realize that there's so many things to do that are also free for an individual or the whole family. And so we want to just promote that you can come to the farmers market for free, hang out. There's no need to buy anything. Come get a stamp to prove that you've been here. Go for a ski in our neighborhood, check out all the historic buildings. And then the more you come, the more chances you get to win a prize.
So you could be crowned Winter champ challenge winner of St. Norbert. And when you say prize, we could all use some extra money nowadays.
Yeah, and we want to support local businesses and farmers as much as we can. And so we're giving away $1,000 in gift certificates and local food prizes to really showcase the diversity and the amazing amount of talent here in Manitoba. There are 65 businesses coming under the canopy tomorrow. We're pretty much jam-packed. So every space will be filled almost every single Saturday up until the summertime.
Okay, so say I win this gift card. Yeah. I've got the $1,000 in my hand. I walk into the farmer's market. What should I buy?
Oh my gosh, what a question. I mean, I get all my groceries here, or a lot of my groceries except toilet paper. Yeah, you can come to our farmers market and just check it out, or you can also go to our website. We do have a map, and you can search in a keyword like eggs or organic or sausage, and you can find those vendors selling those things. We have a lot of great artists here if you are looking for a special gift, and a lot of food producers that are just up and coming, trying to get into stores and restaurants, so you can kind of get on the trend and try their foods first.
We're almost out of time. What are the hours?
We are open Saturdays 10 to 2 all winter, and our summer hours change on May long weekend. Next weekend we're also having our Heritage Days to celebrate a lot of the community here.
All right, Queens of St. Norbert, coming to you hot on Friday morning. Bye.
Thank you, Ainsley. Buying a new vehicle is expensive, which is why many drivers are trying to make their cars last as long as possible. A CTV viewer recently saw his van reach the 1 million kilometer mark. CTV's Pat Foran has the details.
Marco Intihar of Claremont owns a 2000 Toyota Sienna van. It's been in the family since new and is affectionately known as Betsy. He recently videoed the odometer as it clicked over to 999,999 kilometers, which is the most it can record.
99999 has been achieved. Woo! Let's hear it for Betsy.
For Intihar, it was a family goal to hit the 1 million mark.
It's unreal. It really is. I think when you do some research, how many vehicles have actually gotten to 1 million kilometers, that aren't big semis or whatever. It's just astounding. Starts up every time first day.
We first met Intihar 4 years ago when his van had just clicked over to 930,000 kilometers.
Bam! Love it. Transmission level looks good.
He says his father believed in following the maintenance schedule closely, especially oil changes.
You just got to give her the love. Don't go past your oil changes.
Another reason we did the story, it's still on its first drivetrain.
It has the original engine and transmission.
Intihar says his parents put on most of the 1 million kilometers driving to polka festivals all over North America.
They would take lots of trips down south, Florida, wherever there was a polka festival, they would go.
To get this kind of mileage, Consumer Reports says start with a reliable vehicle and keep it well maintained.
Routine maintenance is definitely key to longevity. It costs some time in the shop and money for those maintenance items, but it's generally money and time well spent.
Your best bet, follow your owner's manual.
All the fluid changes matter, all the filter changes matter, and it does add up, but it is cheaper than repairs down the line.
As for Intihar, he says his father would be proud to know Betsy made it to 1 million kilometers.
It was just my dad's dream to get to 1 million, and it's done. So I think we're going to gracefully put her out to pasture. Toyota should be proud. That's a pretty impressive thing to have accomplished.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Oh my goodness! Look at that. How gorgeous. That really is beautiful and exactly what we want to see on this Friday morning as we're looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Honestly, I could look at that all day long. How stunning. We could just hang out here, because it's actually cold. If you want to actually take in that view from outside, you're going to need all of the extra layers on. It is a chilly start to your day. How cold is it? Well, -28. That's where we're sitting right now in Winnipeg. We're still seeing some -30s showing up, high -20s, well below seasonal. Just for a bit of a reference point of what is normal for this time of year, -21 would be a normal low temperature here throughout the south. You can see Fisher Branch is cold as -34. That's where Island Lake is sitting as well. Oh, yeah, bundle up. You're going to need all those extra layers. You can see the difference, though, slightly milder further up into the north, and that's because there's a little bit of extra cloud in the most northern part, providing that blanket of insulation. Winds factored in, and it doesn't even take much. We're talking like a 4K wind, and it's feeling in the mid-minus 30s for many of us, or minus 43 right now in Fisher Branch. And clear, though, plenty of sunshine. I mean, we just saw that stunning look of it rising over the city. There will be some extra clouds, though, in the most northern part of the province. Sunshine for most of us, though, throughout the day. Unfortunately, it just won't be bringing the heat. Minus 27 as kids get settled into the classroom. Through the lunch hour, minus 21 and minus 18 when they're coming home. And that is our expected high for today, when minus 11 would be a normal high. But surpassing those numbers for the weekend, don't be fooled. Heavier clouds, some sideways snow, intense winds expected Saturday, but those milder temperatures lasting into the middle of next week. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Okay, we have a traffic alert to give you now on Pembina at Kirkbridge. There's a stalled vehicle blocking the northbound middle lane. And on Balmoral at Ellis, emergency crews are blocking the southbound curb and westbound curb middle lanes. So use caution in both those areas.
Bombardier is responding to President Trump's threat to revoke certification for all aircraft manufactured in Canada, including Bombardier's Global Express business jet. And he also warned of a 50% tariff on Canadian aircraft until U.S.-made Gulfstream jets are certified in Canada. Now, Bombardier's response reads in part, Bombardier is an international company that employs more than 3,000 people in the U.S. across 9 major facilities and creates thousands of jobs through U.S. suppliers. We hope this is quickly resolved to avoid a significant impact to air traffic and the flying public. Ontario's Minister of Agriculture met with Dubai Chambers on January 30th to discuss enhancing bilateral cooperation in food technology, agriculture, and import-export trade. Dubai Global Chamber opened a representative office in Toronto last year to support companies in both Dubai and Canada and promote Dubai's competitive advantage. Now, Canadian movie star Ryan Reynolds, his Welsh soccer team, Wrexham AFC, has been caught up in the collapse of the UK currency brokerage Argentex. The club had placed $8.5 million with the London firm, but it collapsed into a form of insolvency in July as a result of soured foreign exchange trades, according to documents filed in the UK. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
When it's this cold outside, a nice cup of hot chocolate certainly helps to warm up your belly and your soul. And since today is National Hot Chocolate Day, we wanted to celebrate the day with some of the brown liquid gold. And joining us now from Decadence Chocolates is Helen Staines. Good morning, Helen.
Good morning.
It's good to see you.
You too.
You always bring the best treats in the morning.
Oh, thank you.
Hot chocolate is kind of how our love affair with chocolate really began. The Europeans, anyway.
The
right?
Europeans, yeah. So in Mayan times, it was sort of quite a bitter drink.
Okay.
It was the Europeans who added the sugar to it and made it more palatable for the European tastes.
But it really has like sort of a medicinal feel when you have one too.
Well, yeah, I mean, who can beat on a cold day like today, you know, that warming cup of just chocolate, because that's what it is.
It's delicious. Okay,
deliciousness, yes.
So what are you making right now?
So I'm making hot chocolate here. So this is milk and our it's just milk and our hot chocolate mix. So we boil that up and it goes nice and luscious and thick.
Now the hot chocolate mix, you sell this like this,
we make
right?
this and sell this. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I thought I'd do something fun today. So we've got some of our caramel sauce here, and why not just load up the rim?
Ooh.
Yeah, right? I mean, who can make it any better than that?
That is cool.
And then, even more cool, why don't we dip it in some Oreos?
Are you kidding me?
Well, why not?
That is crazy.
If we're going to do it, let's do it right. And then we've got our nice hot chocolate here. We'll pour that in. And you have the most luscious hot chocolate with Oreos and caramel.
I'm scared to take a sip because I know I'm going to burn myself. Is it too hot?
It is pretty hot.
Okay, we'll just wait. So let's talk about what it is about hot chocolate that brings so much comfort to people at this time of year. You said it just makes you feel good because it's
nice and warm. It just makes you feel so much better because it's so warm. It's you know, it just warms your soul as it goes down. So how about some toasted marshmallows on top? So we have a couple of different ways. You can just Up your hot chocolate game. Yeah, exactly. Melt the chocolate into the hot chocolate. Some nice crispy toasted marshmallows, and then you've got the Oreo caramel.
I want this, but I'm scared. What
it
else
probably
do you have?
is a little bit warm. So these are our, we call these lumps of coal. So it's a hot chocolate bomb. Inside it, it's got salted caramel and the hot chocolate mix.
Wow.
And our traditional snowballs. These have house-made marshmallow in them as well. And then our bags of hot chocolate mix that we make.
I'm not even listening to you right now. This is so good. The Oreo bits that you have on the side like that.
Yeah, a little crispy.
Where can people find you, and what do you want them to know at this time of year?
So 70 Sherbrooke Street. We're just north of the Misericordia Hospital. We're open 7 days a week. 10 till 6.
Wow.
Right now, we're just getting ready for Valentine's Day.
I was going to ask you about Valentine's Day because it's just 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away, so we're up to our elbows in hearts and love and red and all of that good stuff.
Okay, so again, you have to think about that because it's going to come here before you know it. Helen, thank you for sharing this with us.
You're
and again,
welcome. Thanks for having me.
So delicious. Do you always have this stuff on hand?
We always have it on hand.
You have no excuse. Go and get some. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, that looks way too delicious, and it'll be the perfect temperature by the time I get back downstairs. After standing out here, it'll be just the thing I need. It's still cold out here this morning, though it is looking stunning. The sun is up, the sky bright blue. A gorgeous start to your day, if you don't mind these incredibly cold temperatures. Minus 28 is where we're sitting. It feels like minus 35 with a 7K wind out of the east-southeast. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 78%. Like I said, the blue sky looks so gorgeous. So get out here and enjoy the sunshine. Throw those extra layers on. Do not forget your sunglasses. You're going to need them today. Throughout most of the province, the sun will be shining today. The exception to all of the sunshine will be the most northern stretch of the province, starting in the northwest and then passing into the northeast. The clouds will be building up and bringing a little bit of snow. And in fact, that'll be the change up that we're going to experience over the weekend. Today we'll see plenty of sunshine, but the temperatures will remain well below normal. However, a warm-up comes this weekend with the change-up in conditions. So clouds building up overnight, snow moving in for tomorrow, very strong winds increasing tonight, but getting even more intense through the day tomorrow. So that snow coming at you sideways on up to 70K winds gusting out of the south. So yes, the temperatures will be rising, greatly so, above seasonal all weekend, and even into the middle of next week, we're going to remain above normal. This is little Miss Daisy so patiently waiting for Grandma to take her out for a walk, posing for a picture in the meantime and looking so cute while she does it. Send the pictures to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Tensions continue in the city of Minneapolis after the killings of 2 American citizens by federal agents. Yesterday, U.S. President Donald Trump walked back his conciliatory tone after outrage over the killings of 2 American citizens in Minneapolis by federal agents, branding one of them, Alex Preddy, an agitator. Footage shared online this week reportedly showed intensive care nurse Preddy in a scuffle with federal agents 11 days before he was shot dead on Saturday by officers enforcing an immigration crackdown. Activists and protesters are calling for a general strike today, calling on Americans to not spend money, not go to school or work. Joining us now is Associate Professor at Minnesota's College of St. Benedict, Pedro dos Santos. Good morning, Pedro.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, tell us what's the latest situation right now on the ground.
The people are undeterred. People are still going around and observing, legally observing what ICE is doing. People are still around donating food and sending it to food shelves, and food shelves are going out and giving the food for those needed. So people are more cautious, of course, and there has been reports of more not more violence, but more threats from ICE agents. But people are undeterred. They're going to keep going to the streets until this occupation is over.
What have you been witnessing personally in the city with ICE's presence there?
So I live in St. Cloud, which is about an hour and a half from the cities, and we have a large Somali population here, and also a large immigrant community, broadly speaking, specific Latino people. And we'll see people who are on the ground kind of seeing it and reporting to us are seeing a lot of presence still. They're still here. They may change tactics once in a while, but they're still around. They're still sitting by bus stops for kids. They're still sitting by places where people are living. There haven't been any arrests, I think, this last couple of days, but they're still around. They're still here.
Activists are calling for Americans to take a stance against ICE by going on a general strike today. What is the expectation with that at this point?
But I hope there's some traction. It's tricky because since we just did our citywide strike, and it was pretty, for a short notice, it was pretty successful last week. I know for sure, like this week, many of the small businesses that made the tough decision to close last week in support, many of them are making decisions to stay open today because they're small businesses and they're really taking a hard hit on this. But there's a lot of support for any action, especially beyond Minnesota, that is more national to show the support for, because what's happening in Minnesota is probably going to happen somewhere else next, and we need to all be prepared and be ready and be connected for that.
There are reports on social media right now that an independent journalist, Don Lemon, has been arrested for some of the actions that he did in Minnesota last week. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I read it real briefly that but he's a journalist, so he claims to be investigating. I believe him. He was there to report, not to protest. So it's a very dangerous precedent if that becomes a reality. But again, they also invaded the Ecuadorian consulate 2 days ago. So there's very little respect for the rule of law, and also just establishing rules, the informal rules that we have had for a long time.
Pedro, you're from Brazil. Are you worried for your own safety at this point?
I've been in the United States for 25 years. I've been a naturalized citizen for 15. The United States is, I'm married to an American. I have American kids, and I'm not necessarily worried for my safety at this point. But it is the draconian policies that continue to evolve straight from the Project 25 playbook. The next step is denaturalization, and that's where many of us need to start being worried about it. But I'm not concerned right now. It's something that definitely worries me as the progression of what we're seeing in the country.
Pedro, thank you so much for your time today, and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's a look outside right now on Taché Avenue. Looks like things are still quite light in this part of the city. We'll be right back after this short break.
We have been blinded by the light this morning, and I'm not mad about it. How gorgeous does that look? Still kind of cold, the way that fog just kind of hangs in the air, but also indicative of how light those winds are this morning. It's minus 28 right now, but it feels like minus 35 with the 7K breeze out of the east-southeast. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 78%. What a stunning shot we got this morning. Well, actually, we've had a few because that sun is just making things look so aesthetically pleasing. Across the entire province, across most of the province, the sun will be shining like that throughout the day today. In the very far northern part, that's where things will be a little bit cloudier and maybe even snowier, with a system starting in the northwest pushing into the northeast for later on today. For many of us, though, it will be beautiful, bright and sunny. Still cold, though, minus 18. That's our expected high for today. Minus 11 would be a normal daytime high, so we're still missing the mark. I know, coming off the extremes of past weekend when we were really in the deep freeze with all of those warnings in place, and then just holding in this cold trap through the rest of this week. It's been a long one, but we're starting to see some improvements now as we look ahead to the days coming up. Minus 22 overnight, so even that is an improvement from this past night, but the winds will start to increase out of the south, getting up to 50 kilometers per hour. We're going to start to notice some clouds overnight and plenty more clouds tomorrow, which will likely bring some snow on an even stronger wind. Up to 70K winds gusting out of the south. Temperatures will be on the rise up to about minus 8 and then remaining mild through the weekend. Plenty of clouds all weekend long. A little break in those clouds Monday, temperatures dipping ever so slightly, but from there they'll be on the rise again, shockingly so, toward the end of next week.
Extending Chief Pecos Trail is projected to cost the city more than originally thought, but at the same time, a new report suggests the financial benefits are also going up. The report says the anticipated costs have gone up by about $3.5 million since 2024 to around $758 million. However, the cost-benefit ratio has also increased. The latest estimate suggests the city stands to gain $1.43 for every $1 spent on the project, an increase of roughly 18%. It's worth noting a separate report from consulting firm Deloitte found the cost-benefit decreased, but was still a net positive. That's due in part to significantly more traffic and growth in the areas which will be connected to the extension, such as Centerport.
I think, long term for the future of Winnipeg, I really do believe as we continue to grow, especially as we continue to move products to and from a Centerport, to market and workers to their jobs. I believe long term the extension of Chief Pecos Trail is very important for the future of Winnipeg.
The report was meant for information only. The project still needs to be authorized and funded. It's time to axe the facts. That's the message from Doctors Manitoba, which says the antiquated technology is severely slowing down the time it takes for patients to get treatment.
Over 1 million referrals and tests are requested every year in Manitoba. That's 3,000 every day. Nearly all of those referrals and requests are sent by fax or by mail.
The group says right now only 1 in 5 Manitoba physicians are able to electronically share information with each other, such as referrals or consultation reports. For everyone else, the documents must be printed, faxed, and then scanned before they can be used. And that translates into dozens of wasted hours for every physician each year, but more importantly, longer wait times for patients. An all CFL receiver is trading in black and yellow for blue and gold. The club has signed receiver Tim White to a 1-year contract. White spent the past 5 seasons in Hamilton, hauling in 33 touchdowns and racked up 4 consecutive 1,000-yard campaigns. The 31-year-old was named all CFL 3 times with the Ticats. He joins the Bombers after Hamilton released him Monday. A pair of Southern Alberta photographers is among those taking top honors in the Canadian Geographic Photo of the Year competition. CTV's Kevin Green caught up with them as they celebrated the distinction.
Regular viewers of CTV will be familiar with the stunning photographs Calgary's Matt Melnick takes of the Northern Lights. But it was this picture Melnick captured of a lightning strike just southeast of Calgary that took top honors in weather, seasons, and skies in the Canadian Geographic Photo competition.
I was looking at everyone else's photos and there was some unbelievable stuff. So I was a little bit shocked, but also, very excited and happy and thrilled. And it's an amazing achievement, absolutely.
Photos were judged in 4 categories, the others being flora, fauna, and fungi, epic landscapes, and outdoor adventure, which is where Banff's Will Lambert took top honors with this shot of a friend climbing inside an ice cave at Jasper's Dome Glacier.
It was a particularly memorable day out with a couple of good friends and there just with the intention of exploring if we create something great, but just an amazing day out in the mountains. And I think this was one particular one that did come out really well, but you just never know, right?
Over half the top photos in this year's Canadian Geographic contest came from Western Canada.
I really just think it's because of the geographic diversity of particularly Alberta and BC. I mean, you've got the mountains, you've got wide open prairie, you've got incredible thunderstorms, you've got tremendous biodiversity in the mountains, on the coast.
For Melnick, it's also about planning and execution.
I put some planning into it. I frame it and basically, see the picture before you take it. I can kind of see that. I call it my superpower.
Lambert, however, doesn't overthink his adventure photos.
I think sometimes going with less of a plan and just the only intention being out there and having a great day, being safe and enjoying the mountains that you're out in, anything else is a bonus.
There were over 7,000 entries in this year's Canadian Geographic Photograph Contest. Anthony Bucci of Port McNeill, BC, took top honors as Photographer of the Year. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Here's a look at Portage Avenue. It looks good here, but we do have a traffic alert to share with you on Archibald past Marion. A motor vehicle crash is blocking all southbound lanes, so please use an alternate routes. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.27. The provincial average is $1.20. It's the same in Winnipeg. And the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. For our question of the day, we wanted to know what were some of the mispronounced words that bother you the most. La Gimadière, said a Your Morning viewer. I can understand that. Another viewer shared important with a D, so important, and library. Some people say library. Aluminum was another answer we got. The misspoken word that bothers me the most is axed, as in I axe that person instead of asked, said a viewer. Dave shared the mispronounced word he can't stand is portage, a French word which is anglicized. It should be partage. The word irregardless drives me crazy. Well, because it's not even a word, especially when it comes from management, says Kim. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's live at the St. Norbert Farmers Market. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. We got all the words here in our next segment. Be Natural is who we're interviewing. Of course, Victoria is behind it all at St. Norbert Farmers Market. And when you come here, I understand you've really blown up. Lots of people want to see your stuff.
Yes, I love to come here, and it's my 3 years here at the St. Norbert Farmers Market. I'm very grateful that my products are popular and customers are coming back. And I have here some beeswax candles, beeswax skin creams, lip balms, some new products I'm working on.
The details are absolutely stunning. So bee obviously comes from bees. You work with a local bee maker as well.
I used to have
honey maker. They're not making bees. They're making honey.
And beeswax. I used to have bees back in Ukraine, and when I came here, I made a connection with a local beekeeper, Phil, who's selling honey here at the St. Norbert Farmers Market, the best honey ever. And I started to take my beeswax from him and working with that beeswax.
And when you say working, you really are curating art. How is it done?
So I'm using silicone molds for candles like this, and then a friend of mine, she's an artist, she's painting them, and my creations are made without any molds. This one's some new candles with the stones and crystals. And also I'm using beeswax for skin cosmetic creams, lip balms, and massage candles.
What do you enjoy about this? Because it's obviously very versatile.
So first of all, I enjoy working with natural materials. It's very important to make something useful, something natural, something I love and I use. I'm using it at my home with my kids as well, and it's a huge joy and blessed to bring something like that to other people.
And it's local. You get to support a very talented local maker here at St. Norbert Farmers Market. They've got that challenge, so come down, get it slapped, and you might win yourself a $1,000 gift card. I'm talking about words, saying I have all the words, Rochelle, and then I can't get them out as soon as I grab the microphone.
Well, it's cold, so I get it. Your mouth is freezing up. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
So it's cold, but it looks so beautiful, Rochelle. Honestly, I'm not mad about these temperatures if it comes with the aesthetic as it does, which is blue sky, sunshine. Yes, honestly, it's stunning out here. It is below seasonal, well below, in fact. -21 would be that normal low temperature. We're at -28 right now, and that's already up a degree from our coldest. It feels like -35. It doesn't take much of a breeze to make a difference. That wind right now is only 7 clicks out of the east-southeast. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 78%. But it is gorgeous. I mean, that exhaust fog just kind of hangs in the air, but the way the sun glows through it right now, everything does look so cool. It feels very cold, and that'll be the case today. One more day of these below seasonal temperatures, but only one more day of it. In fact, even northern Manitoba begins to see those temperatures on the rise today. We're still going to be stuck in those high minus teens here throughout the south. And then for the weekend, the warm up will come with a big change in the conditions. So don't be expecting these beautiful clear skies or the light winds for tomorrow. Some heavier clouds begin to move in overnight, bringing some snow tomorrow, and those winds increasing overnight will get intense throughout the day tomorrow. So we could be dealing with some sideways snow up to 70k wind gusts Saturday. But yes, the temperatures on the rise. They'll stay mild throughout the week. Taking a break right now. We'll see you soon with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
New research suggests menopause appears to be linked to a loss of gray matter in the brain. The study, published in the British medical journal Psychological Medicine, looked at 125,000 women, and doctors say the deterioration happened whether women were taking hormone replacement therapy drugs or not. The brain's gray matter controls everything from decision-making and emotions to speech and memory. It could explain why women are almost twice as likely to be diagnosed with dementia as men. Indian authorities are investigating a Nipah virus outbreak after confirming 2 cases. This virus is deadlier than the coronavirus, and there is no vaccine. NBC's Janice Mackey-Frere reports.
This is a highly contagious virus between humans, and it's often deadly. The 2 cases of Nipah virus were detected in India in the state of West Bengal, but there are concerns the outbreak could spread. The virus has a fatality rate of 40 to 75%, according to the World Health Organization, deadlier than the COVID virus, and there's no vaccine for Nipah. So authorities in India are taking no chances. At the same time, several airports across Asia, in Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong, are taking steps to screen passengers for any symptoms. Nipah is a zoonotic virus that's transmitted from animals, usually fruit bats, and doesn't spread easily to humans. It can also come from contaminated food. And when it does hit, it initially feels like the flu, then worsens. Experts say pneumonia and other respiratory symptoms can develop. But the most serious complication is encephalitis, or inflammation of the brain. The WHO says the fatality rate has a lot to do with the country's capacity to test, trace, and treat those infected. In India, authorities have quarantined nearly 200 people who may have come into contact with the 2 infected. It's the first time in nearly 20 years that India has had cases, but they believe the outbreak is now contained. Still, it's a situation that U.S. health officials are watching very closely, the CDC saying they're ready to assist if needed. Janice Mackey-Frere, NBC News, Beijing.
Being a night owl could be bad for your heart.
When the daily routine does not match with the internal body clock, that is when the cardiometabolic risk increases. And that is especially present for night owls.
That's according to a study showing night owls had poorer overall cardiovascular health than most people, plus a modestly higher risk of a first heart attack or stroke. Researchers say it's largely because their circadian rhythm, or the body's internal clock, is not aligned with modern society, which encourages people to be up early for work. On the positive side, they say most of the risk factors seem to be explained by behaviors that people have control over.
What should a night owl do differently starting tonight? I would say that focus on the basics, not perfection. Protect enough sleep, keep sleep and wake times as consistent as possible. Get some morning light, build in regular physical activity, and keep up with routine checks for blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar.
They also say quitting smoking is a major factor in improving heart health, although that applies to everyone. Manitoba's Premier poked fun at reporters raising questions over the Team Canada approach at Thursday's First Ministers meeting, invoking a hit TV series.
They want there to be a heated rivalry between Doug Ford and I, but we're on the same team.
I want you to
We're going into the corners together.
I want you to just take that image.
For Team Canada.
The heated rivalry between Doug Ford and Wild Canoe.
Carney later joined one of the stars of Heated Rivalry at a special event in Ottawa. CTV's Rachel Aiello was there.
The breakout Canadian star of Crave's original hit series Heated Rivalry was back on home ice. Hudson, how are you feeling tonight?
Hold on, don't ask questions.
Hudson Williams hit the red carpet at a major media industry conference in his character Shane Hollander's hometown of Ottawa. Embracing the show's soft power. How's that for soft power?
Okay, this is soft. This is true soft power.
Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Congratulations on creating a story that has struck a chord with so many across this country, around the world. Because of you, cottage season will have a whole new meaning this summer.
He may not be the most sociable.
The drama about a pair of pro hockey players, rivals on the ice and out of their skates, secret lovers, is a Canadian production to its core. From most of the cast and the soundtrack, to the product placement.
I think, yeah, we've set the bar very high, but we've shown to people that it is achievable.
In just 2 months, Heated Rivalry has become the most watched and rewatched original series produced by Crave, a subsidiary of Bell Media, which also owns CTV, with fans around the world celebrating the show for casting hockey and queer joy in new light.
It's just showing that because of the investment in culture, you get to have a heated rivalry. And without that, you probably wouldn't have it.
While those behind the show say they couldn't have imagined the response, they're ready to score their next homegrown hit.
We're going to continue to and elevate, making big, making bold, making authentic, not shying away from specific, not shying away from big C Canadian content.
Heated Rivalry has already been renewed, and as showrunner Jacob Tierney hinted to me tonight, Ottawa is set to be a central plotline in season 2.
All right, it is gorgeous looking outside, but still very, very cold. So don't be fooled by that sunshine. You still need to bundle up. It's minus 28 right now, and it feels like minus 35, even with that light breeze. 7 clicks out of the east-southeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 78%, and all of that sunshine is going to last throughout the day today. So at least we have that to be a bit of a mood booster. It's looking gorgeous. Just make sure that you are bundled up if you're headed out, knowing that the conditions are going to change drastically. Today, yes, very clear, plenty of sunshine expected. Less so for the weekend, and a change up on all conditions. With the temperatures, they're going to be rising well above seasonal. Well, not well above, but minus 11 is normal for this time of year. So we will scoop beyond that, but the heavier clouds will begin to move in overnight. Snow is expected tomorrow, and it's the winds that'll be the worst of it, increasing overnight and then throughout the day tomorrow, gusting at times to 70 kilometers per hour. From there, the heavier clouds last through the weekend. We get a break back to the sunshine Monday, slight dip in the temps, and from there, the mercury on the rise again throughout the middle to end of next week. We're taking a break. We'll see you with more CTV Morning, Your Morning.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Before we send you on your way, we're going to show you some fun video from a dancing baby to a grumpy kid. Parents know what this is like.
Carry this! Seriously? Why do I have to do everything?
Oh yeah, Sean is parodying what happens when you ask your kids to help you with something. He complains the whole time. It's so dramatic. Indeed. Well, most people get married surrounded by family and friends. This couple did it differently.
Thank you all for being here.
Tina and Roger took their wedding to a whole new level aboard a Southwest flight. They'll go from their wedding straight to their honeymoon. That's interesting.
Did they get, because I'd do that again if I got free flights or something.
Maybe.
What's the perk?
Yeah, exactly. And lastly, a little reality check for hackers who threaten to leak photos from your phone. True, the photos on their phones are not sexy, but they're really boring. From where you park to labels on jars so you can enlarge it to read, and of course, your fur babies. Those are great. Love it so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.